It's the Orioles en masse, and Camden Yards is the site for Game 2 against Oakland as the O's came away with a victory and an impressive one against Oakland last night. And a warm summer night for baseball here at Camden Yards. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne for the Orioles. A victory tonight would mean they would have their third series win and the first time they will have won a series against Oakland in the last 6. And they get that opportunity because they won the ball game last night. How do you win a game in which you have just 7 hits, the fewest hits the Orioles have had in any win this year, and you go 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position? Here's how you get it done. You take advantage of opportunities that are presented. Ty Wigginton, first and second, runners. Instead of the double play, they go to third for the out later inning, an error, and the Orioles score. And then you get a big double play on Kurt Suzuki right when Guthrie needed a quick inning. And then 2 sacrifice flies. Wigginton, his second of the year, and Adam Jones, his first of the year, both after a couple of walks started the inning. Jim Palmer, it's what has been talked about by the manager ever since he got here. Play this game right and you'll win.
Yeah, and it really kind of revolves about your starting pitcher. Guthrie, had great stuff, but not a lot of command, but he battled. He's still throwing 96 miles per hour in the 6th inning. Got him with only 1 run. And then all of a sudden you can do those little things. You can get the sacrifice flies. But it seemed like last night the Orioles, again, have done all the things that you talked about, Dave Trembley's been talking about. And, again, it starts with your starting pitching and it ended with the back end of the bullpen. We saw Ullman in a non-save situation really pitch well. Looked like he owned the mound even though he had a 4-run lead. But the bottom line, he's going to be our closer. And I'll tell you what, he really carried it out last night.
And a good job by Mark Hendrickson, who came out of the bullpen again. And tonight we're going to see a couple of pitchers who are among the youngest in all of Major League Baseball, as Trevor Cahill will go for Oakland, second youngest at 22 years, and Brian Mattis, 23 years old, the 5th youngest.
And, Cahill, he's going to try to sink the ball 13, 12, 10. That's his last 3 games, getting grounders, about 63%. Brian Mattis is trying to get back on track. Beat the A's, his last win. They got him 8 runs out in Oakland, the only win the Orioles had. See if he can win again tonight. And, for him, he just has to get his confidence and pitch to both sides of the plate. He get lit up in Texas, but, when you're only 23, those things will happen.
Mattis has lost 4 in a row. In the minors, he never had consecutive losses, so he will try and end that streak tonight. When we come back, we'll take a look at the starting lineups for Game 2. in the 90s today. It's cooled down a little bit, 88 degrees at the start of our ball game. High clouds, but otherwise really a real fine summer night for baseball here at Camden Yards. Let's take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines for the A's. They've shuffled the deck again. Rajai Davis, Barton, Suzuki, Kuzmanov, Sweeney, Rosales, Fox, Ellis, and Pennington. As we'll talk about some changes there. Coco Crisp has gone on the DL. Kuzmanov, 21 RBI, tied for the team lead.
And let's take a look at our scouting report. 23-year-old left-hander. Well, he needs a win, as Gary Thorne told you. Lost 4 in a row. All A's in April. They got him 8 runs, pitched very well. 8 strikeouts, ties his career high. And then really needs to pitch to both sides of the zone, get some easy outs. He's better into the righties. So Matt Wieters talking about it, trying to establish a way with a 4-seamer, maybe the 2-seamer, and then use your changeup, keep the pitch down. So there they are. Pretty good numbers. I mean, doesn't walk a whole lot of people. Really not that, other than in his last game, hurt by the home run this year either.
Rajai Davis, the speedster, is in the leadoff spot. Coco Crisp has gone on the DL with the injury he's got. A muscle in his side sprained, so they put him on the 15-day DL. So Davis moves into the leadoff spot again. Rajai Davis will put that into right field for a base hit, and the problems begin early whenever Rajai Davis is on base.
I'll take a look at the defense. Patterson, Jones, Markakis, pretty typical outfield for the Orioles. Tejada is Turris. We got a chance to see Scott Moore at second base. He came in late and pitch ran for Wigington. Wigington, second straight game over at first base. And then Matt Wieters will be doing the catching tonight behind the plate. Home run actually a double last night.
So now he's going to keep an eye, Mattis does, on Davis at first base. And Davis is already challenging him. He stepped off a big lead over there. Gets him going back to the bag. That bunt will move the runner up. Mattis has got to go to first base and will get the out. Wigington covering. So Barton starts it out with a sacrifice.
And that is a gift. In the American League, you do have the DH, even though runs are down, home runs are down. To give you an out, a guy that got 3 hits last night and hits lefties well, but there's your out with a guy, a burner, 15 out of 17 when it comes to steal bases.
So that tells you how they are not scoring runs.
Yep.
As they're playing this early, first inning in a small ball here to try and get a run in. Here's Kurt Suzuki. He had an 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. Suzuki in the number 3 spot, hitting .253. Runner goes, going to steal, and no throw to be made. And that's Rajai Davis. He's going to get to play a lot here in the second half. He did in the first couple of weeks, but then he wasn't hitting at all, so he lost his position.
Yeah, they don't, again, you want to look a couple of times because otherwise they will time you. And then, a lot of good base runners, and he's certainly one of them, will tell you third base is easier to steal than second.
He's got 16 out of 18 stolen bases now, so with one away, he's on at third. And Mattis to Suzuki, that is going to miss, and the count will go to 2-0. So here's a typical kind of inning when Oakland gets its offense going. You get the speed guy on, you sacrifice, you get a stolen base, and you try and manufacture that early run in the ball game. Suzuki, 2-0 delivery to him, and he'll punch that one out into right center, a base hit. That's an RBI. Davis will score, and Suzuki gets credit for the RBI and a 1-0 lead.
Well, again, some things you can't control. You make a pretty good pitch. Davis has a nice at bat. He steals third. You could have maybe controlled this. And again, 2-0. He's looking fastball. He gets it, fights it off. And he is one of their better hitters, even though he's only had 21 at bats with runners in scoring position. He's now 8 for 22.
17 RBIs for Kurt Suzuki, who had the 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. And they get on the board here against Brian Mattis in a hurry. And he's hardly thrown. He's only thrown 6 pitches. He's already faced 3 hitters. There are 2 hits on the board and a run. Here's Kevin Kuzmanov. Kuzmanov had an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. Batting cleanup. 21 runs batted in for him. And he will take the pitch inside for a ball. In the first innings this season for Brian Mattis, he has allowed 5 first inning runs. Now 6 in the 10 starts he's had. He fouled back into the screen. Kuzmanov 1-1. Well, for Brian, this has been, as for many pitchers, a typically tough first inning.
Yeah, there the Rangers. Yeah, the Rangers score right there, and the home run hurt him there. 3-run home run by Nelson Cruz, and then the 2-run home run by Vladimir Guerrero. There were 5 quick runs.
1 ball, 1 strikeout on Kuzmanov. And he'll take the off-speed delivery up high for a ball, and the count will go to 2-1. This Oakland team, as we talked about last night, is really struggling on the road. They've lost 6 in a row on the road, and 13 out of their last 15 road games they've lost. It is taken inside. Both their pitching and hitting go south when they leave Oakland. They're trying to find a way to win on the road. ERA almost goes up 3 runs a game, and the runs go down dramatically. There's Kurt Young, their pitching coach. Done a terrific job over the years. 3-1 delivery. That'll be fouled straight back. Well, this is what happens. I mean, this is a home run swing. And that's what happens when you get in the major leagues. There are your road averages. They have the highest earned run average in the American League on the road, the lowest at home. So if you don't hit and you don't pitch, again, that's why they're, what, 5-14? You don't win. No. Not too hard to explain. Suzuki back to the bag. He's not building up any kind of lead over there. He does not have a stolen base, nor has he tried to steal one this year. Kuzmanov with 1 away, 3 ball, 2 strike count. See if he runs him at first. Does not. Kuzmanov off the fist. Kuzmanov really crowds the plate. He's right up on top of it. When you get a pitch on the inside corner, you're going to be right under or over his hands the way he stands on the plate. Well, you know, 18 to 23 home runs the last 3 years when he played for the Padres, and about 30, 31, 32 doubles. So, and that's a big ballpark. Those are pretty good offensive numbers. 3-2 delivery. Runner goes this time down the line and right, and that's going to end up in the seats for a foul ball. So here's the first extended at bat of the ball game, as Kuzmanov has worked him for 7 pitches. And a 3 ball, 2 strike count still. There you see that one of the examples, and he's not really that bad, but you got all kinds of numbers like that home and road where they're so much better at home. 3-2 delivery again came inside on him. Wigginton at first going over and can't make the play. The tarp and the policeman in the way that time. Wigginton, a seasoned veteran, made the wise choice of not running into the policeman, understanding he would be driving home tonight. That's right. And right now, Mattis wants to arrest that policeman. Not fair. We're just kidding. Well, he got out of the way. It's just that corner right there made it difficult for Wiggy to get a good angle on the ball. 3-2 delivery time and another foul ball. Boy, he's really working the left-hander here in this at bat, holding that count at 3-2. Yeah, that was an awfully good changeup. That's the one you want to put in play. Kuzmanov's 260 off the left-handers this year. It's only a couple of points higher than what he hits against right-handed pitchers. Suzuki at first, not going. Kuzmanov will take it up high and draws a walk, and boy, did he earn that. That's a quality at bat right there. And that's the third of 4 batters to reach base here in the first inning. Well, there are the pitch grips for Brian Mattis. 4-seamer, 2-seamer, conventional fastballs. There's your curveball. And he also has a slider, almost the same grip. And then the changeup. To me, that's probably his second best pitch because it goes right with that fastball. It complements it. Very tough early situation now. Here's the leading hit man for Oakland. He leads the ball club with 50 hits. He's got 8 doubles, a triple, and a home run, and 21 RBIs. See Brian Mattis, the record at home and on the road, much better ERA at home. 0-1 delivery, and that'll be fouled away as Sweeney, with a 4-game hit streak, tries to keep the inning going here. They're 1 for 4 last night, about 90-point difference versus righties. He's well over 300, 327 range, and he's down around 237 against lefties. So an opportunity for Brian Mattis to make a pitch. And he gets ahead, yeah. Runners off first and second. Sweeney will take that towards second base. Good play, Moore. As Torres won, no relay. I was saying before the game for his Torres, it's like every game you must go to the lineup card and say, all right, who am I either going to be throwing to or getting the toss from tonight? Because it's like there seems to be a second baseman new every game for the Orioles. Moore's out there tonight. And this Turris has anchored that infield. He and Tejada on that left side by being the regulars. Scott Moore making the start at second base in this one. See the games that he's played in the minors at Norfolk: 14 at second, 5 at short, and 7 at third. He was originally drafted as a shortstop. 2 down now, first and third. Rosales will take the pitch for a strike. Suzuki has moved over to third base and Sweeney on at first. So a 2-out RBI chance, and like the Orioles, they struggle in these situations. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. The Orioles and Oakland in the bottom 3 in the majors in that department. And is going to be taken inside for a ball. 1 strike count. Rosales is getting the start in left field in the ball game tonight. There's the lowest numbers with runners in scoring position overall. The Orioles are dead last in the majors, and Oakland only a couple ahead of them. 1-1. And Eddie fooled.
Yeah, good changeup. Well, you talked last night of taking another look at this changeup about how Oakland 20 scoreless innings against the Giants when they swept them, but the Giants had gone 0 for 25 with runners in scoring position until the 5th inning last night, and then they went on to beat the Nationals.
Adam Rosales trying to get a 2-out RBI. Here's the 1-2 delivery to him, and he'll chop that one foul. He got in the ball game late last night and had only 1 at bat. Talk about these two teams with players who get shuffled around. Rosales is one of them. Before last night, the last 3 games he started, and every one of them was in a different position. He played left field Sunday, third base Saturday, and second base on Friday. And he's back in the outfield tonight. 1-2 delivery, and he lifts it to left field. That is way back, and goodbye home run. A 2-out, 3 RBI homer by Adam Rosales. If he doesn't slow down, he's going to pass Sweeney in front of him. 4-0.
All out sprint. Well, they get him in there because he can play left field, and they try to come in. He doesn't get it in, throws it well, but doesn't locate it. 92-mile-per-hour fastball in the middle of the plate. And Rosales, who comes over from Cincinnati, a very, very valuable utility guy.
That's his 4th home run, and he's got 18 RBIs, and he's not a regular starter. And for Brian Mattis, a very tough first inning. That's the 5th home run that he has surrendered on the year, with 4 of those being hit by the right-handers. That's to short. Great play as Turris up and will make the throw to get Fox. But a big inning. 4 runs on 3 hits. The Rosales 3 RBI homer, the big blow. And Oakland has jumped out. Patterson, Wigginton, and Markakis. Tejada, Wieters, and Jones. Moore, Atkins, and Historis. Scott Moore. There you see the Triple-A numbers this year.
And our scouting report on Trevor Cahill. Only 22 years old, 86 days. Road woes. Doesn't pitch as well on the road. Grounded out. 13, 12, 10. Those are the outs in his last 3 starts. And again, run support, big part of winning. They've already tonight gotten him more than he gets, at least average, all his starts combined.
And Patterson does a little dance as he moves away. Cahill with a very impressive 3.68 ERA. He is 1-1 lifetime against the Orioles. And that 2-2 mark gives up fewer hits than innings pitched. 5 home runs surrendered by him so far this season, but as Jim said, the road has been a real problem. His ERA 5.6 on the road. His ERA at home 0.77.
And a lot of it starts in that first game. I mean, he came back. He had actually a problem with his left scapula, not his right arm. And there's a routine strike for effect, but his first start in Toronto gave up 7 hits, 8 runs, 3 home runs. So that ERA inflated that. Actually, has pitched pretty well on the road, but just no run support.
And a strike taken by Patterson. Patterson had a 1 for 3 in the ball game last night as the Orioles came away with a 5-1 win. And that's going to be to first. Nice play made as Barton got in front of it. 1 away.
Let's take a look at their defense. You've already seen Barry Barton, who came up as a catcher. Rosales, who hit the 3-run home run. Davis already a single. Sweeney, and that's your outfield. Kuzmanov, Pennington, Ellis, Barton, and then Kurt Suzuki. Terrific catcher. Calls a great game. Doing the catching for Oakland.
By the way, that home run by the A's ends a 7-game home run drought, the longest in 27 years. So Rosales ended that. Here is Wigginton in the number 2 spot. The All-Star candidate this year, 3rd in home runs. He's now moved into the number 9 spot in the American League in RBIs. And he is 5th in slugging. And they'll take the pitch away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wiggy had an 0 for 2 in the ball game last night. Cahill with a 1-1 delivery to him. Slider will miss away. 2-1.
Yeah, he's got all 4 pitches. Spike, curveball, changeup, slider. But the sinker is his bread and butter.
Much improved changeup from last year working for him. 2-1 delivery will be tapped foul. It's one of those screwball changeups we now see so often in the game that dives away. Doesn't just come in slower. It has movement on it. It's been a real change over the last few years, hasn't it? That the changeup has been more like a screwball pitch than just an off-speed pitch? Well,
for some guys, yeah. I mean, I used to turn mine over a little bit because it made me finish my windup. And, well, I would like to have had a little straighter one to the righties.
Yeah.
But it's a very effective pitch. I never really felt that comfortable throwing it to right-handers, but it was a great, you throw a lot of 2-seamers, 4-seamers away from lefties. Oh, there you go. Lester has a great changeup. Markham just moves it all over the place. And Neiman came up with a forkball and Fister. We saw him when the Orioles were out in Seattle.
Ooh,
there's your change.
Pitch right there. That's the one down and away.
That's almost like it acts like a split-figure fastball. Bottom dives out, and it's about 7 to 8 miles per hour slower. Look at that ball, just kind of bottoms out. Even if you hit it, you'd hit the top of the ball.
So a couple of quick outs by the 22-year-old. And here's Nick Markakis. Nick had a solid night last night as he ended up with a 2 for 2, picking up a single and then delivering in the 8th inning his 3rd home run of the year. 81 at bats between homers. There you see the numbers for Nick. We're going to look at some career numbers tonight for him. And just how consistent he is as a hitter. His career average at home and on the road. His 2-out runner in scoring position number much improved this year. I mean, he's 2nd in the league with a 500-plus average, 580-plus average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
It seems he's getting back, Gary, to where he was 2 years ago, where he had 99 walks. Last year, only 56. Already 32 walks and real high on-base percentage. That went up because not only did he get the 2 hits, but he got also 2 walks last night.
Compare this year to last year, that's what I was talking about with consistency. The home runs down a little bit per game average. RBIs down a little bit, but are picking up now. And right around that 300 batting average seemingly all the time. 1-2 delivery. He got jammed on that one. Pennington will make the play, and Cahill, after getting the 4-run lead, comes out and retires the Orioles in order and quickly. We've completed one. The A's up in game 2 of the series. Then the Orioles, the Red Sox, and the White Sox, as we're about a quarter of the way through the season for most teams. Here's Mark Ellis leading it off, and Ellis will take the pitch up high for a ball. Ellis had an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. He's trying to get back on track. Came off the DL Saturday and is 0 for 9 since returning to the lineup. A 1-ball, 1-strike count from Brian Mattis, who will try and settle it down and have a quick inning himself right here. And this is 10th start of the year.
Yeah, you want to get your hitters back up to the plate.
And that's going to miss.
Yeah, Rosales, who hit the 3-run home run, he was playing second base because Ellis did have that hamstring problem when the Orioles were out in Oakland. And again, that is Brian's last win. Early runs, pitched very well.
That one's going to go to Moore at second. And recovers and gets the out. And we're going to check in with Amber.
Well, Gary, Rick Kranitz told me after Brian's last poor start in Texas that he just felt it was a night he didn't have his stuff. And he said throughout a 35-start season, a pitcher will have about 10 games where everything is really working for them. They'll have 10 games where they somewhat have their stuff and they find a way to get through it. And he said there's about 10 games where they really have nothing and they've got to find a way to battle. And Brian Mattis is still learning how to do that. Now, he told me he can look at Jeremy Guthrie last night and learn how to do that. Jeremy didn't have his best stuff, but all of a sudden you look at the scoreboard, it's a 6th inning, and he gave up just 1 run. So we'll see if Brian can bounce back here. Gary?
And that's the issue for him, trying to get out of this losing streak of 4 games that he's in. Cliff Pennington fouls it away. He's not had a win in 6. He's had 4 losses and 2 no decisions in his last 6 starts. As Jim said, that win on April 18 against Oakland was the last one.
And Matt Wieters, I mean, he catches him. He said, we just have to make better pitches away. And we need to get some strikes on the outside corner. He's trying to do it right there. And then again, when you establish away, Mike Flanagan, who stopped by and will be doing the games up in Toronto and New York, said, well, he does throw probably more of a fly ball pitcher, which makes a lot of sense, but you still have to pitch to both sides of the plate. He's trying to learn how to do that.
Pennington is 2 for 2. Lifetime off Brian Mattis. 1-2 delivery on the way. Pennington he had a double clutch on that as he was already striding before that ball got there, but he got enough of it to foul it away. That's how you keep your at-bats alive. He's a .260 hitter off the lefties. About 50 points better than against right-handers. And a good pitch by Mattis to get his first strikeout. 2 down.
Well, you got to make adjustments, and so far here in the second, you didn't want to give up the 4 runs, but it's over. And in the first inning, his best off-speed pitch was the changeup, and here's another one. And how did he get the strikeout? Got ahead.
Mattis with 42 strikeouts in 51 innings. Here's Rajai Davis, who kicked this ball game off with a single. Stole third, and then would come around to score the first run. Davis, they really like because of the great speed, and he's got potential at the plate and as an outfielder. And he loops that one out to left center. He's 2 for 2 in the ball game. He's down to first base before that ball hits the ground. I mean, I'll tell you, he may be the fastest player in the game right now.
Well, he's close to it. I mean, Ellsbury's back. He can drive you crazy. 70 steals for the Red Sox. But this is part of his game. If he gets on and, poke one to right here, good change up, even better approach, didn't hit it hard. And he's thinking, they mess it up, maybe I'll go to second.
Yeah, you don't play the ball well out there, he'll take that extra base on you. Mattis almost throws it away. Good play by Wigginton.
I thought of all the things. We used to play Oakland. And, they had Reggie and they had Bando and they had Rudy. But the guys that drove you crazy were Campaneris and Billy North. Campy could steal 70 to 100 bases. If he got on, it was going to be a double. Maybe a triple if he wanted to steal second and third.
There goes Davis. Leader's throw and short hopped it. Goes into center. He's going to challenge the arm and no play. And boy, are we seeing the effect that Rajai Davis has on opponents and for his offense in his first 2 at-bats in this game. Stolen base and an error.
Yeah, all he has to do is show Bob Guerin that he can get on base, 1 out of 4 times, and he's an impact player. And right there, the hurried throw. Middle infielder's unable to knock it down. Bounces right there. Asturis doesn't knock it down, so it's just like he hit a triple.
He's now tied for third in stolen bases and only 1 behind the leader. Juan Pierre's got 18. Elvis Andrus, Brett Gardner, and now Rajai Davis all have 17 stolen bases. Here's Derek Barton, another RBI chance. Barton, a sacrifice that moved Davis around his first time up. Now he's got a runner at third. And again looking for the big 2-out hit.
He had 3 really good at-bats last night. Of course, it was off for righty. That was Jeremy Guthrie.
Breaking ball that fooled him, but it's going to miss inside.
He had a breaking ball to right, a fastball to right, and then a fastball to left.
Barton, 225 with runners in scoring position, and he's had a lot of chances. Not a particularly good number. Here's the 2-1 pitch to him, and that's going to miss outside. And you've got Suzuki waiting on deck here with 2 down, and a 3-ball, 1-strike count on Derek Barton. You don't want to go any deeper if you're Brian Mattis. Here's the 3-1 delivery, and that'll be fouled away to take it full, 3-2.
Yeah, lefties and righty, they pretty much hit Brian about the same, at least coming in. Lefties at 298, righties at 307. To me, you look at the scoreboard, if you're Brian, you say, I just can't give up another run. So if you get behind, then you're going to try to make perfect pitches. If that means you have to walk Barton, who came in with 30 walks last night. I mean, he's got a great eye. That's what you have to do.
3-2 delivery to him, and he will lift that one back again. Foul. He has had 4 hits and 24 at-bats with 2 down and runners in scoring position. And we were talking about the teams and how they struggle with 2 outs. The A's are hitting just .211 with 2 down and runners in scoring position. That's bad. 3-ball, 2-strike count. And that one's going to add to their totals. They have done it twice now. For the second time with 2 away, they come up with a big hit. First one was the homer by Rosales for 3 RBIs. This one's a 2-out single by Barton for another RBI.
Another great approach. This is what he did last night. Pretty good pitch. You think you're going to get an out. He just goes with it. And there comes the 5th run.
Long way to go in the ball game, but obviously big time concern here for the Orioles. Not just about the score, but about Brian Mattis. They really want to get his head back on straight on winning some ball games here, and he's behind 5-0, and we're only in the second inning.
Well, I think you made a great point in the first inning. There weren't a lot of hard hits except the 3-run home run. And I'm sure Rick Kranitz came out here and said, you can't do anything about the looping single. If Davis gets on, you know he's going to steal. They did throw the ball in center field, and then Barton had a great at bat. It's not like you're horrible, but the scoreboard tells you otherwise. Now look at the pitch count.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Here's Suzuki. He had an RBI base hit his first time up. And Kurt Suzuki now 1 for 4 in this 2-game set. 2 down, runner on at first base, Barton. And Suzuki will lift that one in the air to shallow right. Moore, second baseman, will get there and put it away. But a big 2-out hit by Barton adds another, and it's a 5-0 A's lead going to the bottom of the second. A lot of day baseball today. The Yankees had that suspended game against Minnesota picked up. Derek Jeter, 6th-inning home run, won that one. And Minnesota's got an early 1-0 lead in the second game. They were 0-0 after an hour and a half delay in the first suspended ball game in the new open-air park in Minnesota.
I think I might have seen Jeter hit a home run. And that might have been the one run.
That was it?
Yeah. Imagine that. Derek Jeter hitting a home run to win a game.
Amazing. He's got a chance making it big with the Yankees. Miguel Tejada will lead it off. Tejada, Wieters, and Jones.
Pretty good odds about that.
For 2.
Pretty good odds about Jeter succeeding.
Yeah, well, you go out on a limb once in a while with guys just because you have a feeling. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that'll be foul back. Tejada last night, a little D. Shot hit towards the shortstop side.
Yeah, he said it curved back. Well, what can I do? You know, I said, thankfully, you have good hands.
It was pretty funny. And he was laughing. He didn't have to dive. He thought he did, and the ball came back at him, and it almost ended up being between his glove and his body.
The guy that had the biggest kick out of his coach in first base, John Shelby, he said, T-Bone, how could you laugh at one of your players like that? He goes, well, he was laughing with me. It was pretty funny.
That's right.
Because he caught it, and the Orioles won.
And a 1-2 delivery, and he gets him, and that'll be strikeout number 2 for Cahill. One away here in the second inning. The Orioles wrap up their 3-game series with the A's tomorrow night, 7:05. You can start your Memorial Day weekend early. Great night out for family and friends here at Camden Yards. Buy your tickets in advance and save 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. One down in the second. Here's Matt Wieters. Wieters had a 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. Matt continues to struggle here and trying to get his average up at home. He's got the 4th lowest batting average on his home field of any hitter in the American League. And the pitch will be taken inside, and the count goes to 1-1. Cahill right now with that lead, throwing some strikes here. He's going to force the Orioles to have to swing the bat. That's going to miss away. Count goes to 2-1. Wieters hitting 188 here at Camden Yards, but on the road 304 for the overall 256 average.
Well, you really can't explain it. I mean, there's no reason. Good hitting ballpark here. They don't pitch them any differently here than they do. In fact, it's a great hitting ballpark, other than, it may not be the fastest infield, but certainly, fits his power.
That one in the air and he left. Rosales waving off nobody will make the catch.
Well, Bob Guerin was saying that one of his friends who's a scout said, I saw Rosales play left field, so he put him in left field. He can play everywhere.
It's only the second major league game in left field for Rosales, and he only played in the minor leagues left field 3 times. I take that back, 2 times at AA Chattanooga. So twice in the minors and now twice in the majors in left field.
And this is the most difficult left field to play. I mean, compared to the other fields here at Camden Yards. Now Brady Anderson, Johnny Oates said, hey, you know what? You're my best outfielder. I'm putting you in left. There's more room to cover. In right field.
You saw him laughing because the shortstop was Pennington was giving him a little what for as he was waving his arms frantically to indicate he wanted to make the play, but there was nobody within 100 miles of him. So if he didn't, nobody else was. Here's the 1-1 delivery to Jones. That'll skip away. Adam has continued his hit streak to 11 games. It is a career high. 317 during the streak with 2 home runs and a very solid .561 slugging percentage during the streak.
And a lot of it has to do with using the whole field. He's hit some home runs. A home run, in fact, 2 of them. One was inside the park. That was right center. The other home run was to right center in Washington. It's a huge ballpark. We saw a triple right over the first base bag.
Adam does hit pretty well here in the home park at Camden Yards. 279 here at home, 235 on the road. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery by Cahill, and that will just miss outside. And the count goes to 3-2. Trevor Cahill, 1-1 lifetime, 3.46 ERA against the Orioles. 2 career appearances both last year as a starter. Shattered the bat, Pennington. So, first 6 in a row have been retired as Cahill cruises through the second. We've completed 2 5-0 A's. Joining us here, Skip, a comment on Brian Madison, what you see and what's got to get better.
He's pitching up in the strike zone, and really not finishing his pitches. I'd like to see him with the two-seamer a lot more, especially to the right-handed hitters, and stay away from the middle of the plate.
Pretty good idea. How about Luke Scott? When is there any chance we will see him in the next couple of days?
I think he wants to give it a go tomorrow, Jim, but I'm not so sure. He said he felt a lot better today. It's probably, I would say 75-25 that he would play tomorrow. I might just hold him out until we go to Toronto just to be sure.
Skip, how about the decision to put Scott Moore in at second base tonight?
He's a utility guy who can play everywhere in the infield, and he's a left-handed bat, and he's a true infielder, and I think he gives us a little range in the middle of the diamond.
All right. On our Wired Wednesday, Skipper Dave Tremblay joining us live from the dugout. Dave, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. A 5-0 lead here for the A's. Doing those sorts of interviews in the second inning when the score is 5-0 and the Orioles are trailing is tough.
Yeah,
not on us, but on the manager, who obviously has got a whole lot of other things on his mind.
Yeah, like about 7 or 8 runs.
Besides talking to us. A 2-ball, 2-strike count. Kuzmanov, he drew a walk in the first inning.
Well, you're going to get a measured response from not only Dave but Rick Kranitz, because Dave managed now about 3,300 games from minor league and major league. It's not the first young pitcher he's seen struggle.
Yeah.
Kranitz has been around minor leagues, big leagues, Marlins with all those young staffs. So right there, yeah. Well, again, if that was the same pitch he threw to Rosales, he wouldn't have hit the home run. And Dave made a great point. Stay out of the middle of the plate. That's about as good a changeup as you can throw. 3-2. But what I'd like to see is just a little bit better fastball command. He's got a great changeup. I mean, it is outstanding.
But you can't throw it every pitch, and you got to set it up. Right?
And this is the second time against Oakland. They've watched the film. He pitched very well. And it was a little different game where they got a lot of runs early. It doesn't mean you can't still pitch poorly and win, because he didn't. But it makes a whole difference. And so they're adjusting. He's going to have to adjust. And to me, that's going to be his best pitch, his fastball, through the course of his career. And he's got 3 other ones to complement it, and they're awfully good.
2-0 count. Sweeney with a big cut will foul it back. Sweeney get into a fielder's choice. He would score on the Rosales 3 RBI homer, with Rosales following him to the plate. Sweeney, he's got the hot bat going. 338, 9 RBIs over the last 17 games. And we'll take that pitch and get ahead on the count here. 3 balls and 1 strike.
But Gary, what you try to do when you're not pitching is to watch hitters, and watch tonight what kind of swings when they are ahead of the count, like that 2-0 pitch.
Broken bat on that one. Third base to Hada.
So you'll see some really authoritative swings when they have the count in their favor, and then all of a sudden they're going to be flailing and whatever. That's just the way pitching is. They're going to look for their pitch when you get behind them as a pitcher.
Here is Rosales, the big blow of the ball game. That home run with 2 down is 4th of the year, good for 3 RBIs. With Coco Crisp out now, he's going to get a chance to play some more, and if he keeps doing this, it'll be a lot more.
It's almost like Bob Guerin's become Casey Stengel, because he has so many righties that hit lefties better, lefties that hit righties better, so he's going to have to platoon.
A lot of them are in the ball game tonight. Coco Crisp, as we said, on the DL, so Rajai Davis gets back in. Davis is probably going to get some playing time in left field when Coco Crisp is back at center. But Guerin also wants to get Rosales in, either in the infield or left field, and he wants to get Fox in. Fox can DH and play left field as well, so a lot of personnel that he can move around, and that's what he's going to have to do again with these injuries. Playing .500, 23 and 23, 3 games out. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Rosales. Ryan Mattis gets it in. 3rd strikeout and a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd. A 5-0 lead for the A's. preparations for the Orioles. And if you listen closely, you get some idea of what he's thinking about as far as changes personnel-wise this year.
Our principal issue, in my view, has been we're just not generating the kind of offense that we need to have. If you look at our runs scored per game, we're the second lowest in the league. Our starting pitching is vastly improved from what it was a year ago. It's still not dominant or great, but it's taken us far deeper into the games than it did a year ago at this time. Our issue is that we're in a lot of close games, and we don't make a play defensively, or we don't get some hits. The end of the game hasn't worked out well for us. But
Andy McPhail talking about needing to get some offense for the Orioles. That one grounded to second base by Scott Moore. And he went on to say they're going to wait the market out. When he was asked about, do you start making the deals now? He said no. Obviously, the buyers and sellers are going to shake out as the season moves along, and we'll wait till we think we're at a point where we can get more for our bang for the move than we can right now.
Yeah, I mean, Luke Scott certainly red hot. Jeremy Guthrie has pitched well. He's won 3-1 in May. Wigington 13 home runs. Not trading Wieters. No, he has a lot of value. I mean, really does. I'm suggesting that they move him. And then you have who else? Well, one of the reasons Scott Morris is playing tonight. They're just trying to generate some offense.
Sure.
And, give him a chance. And like in Wired Wednesday, he can play a lot of different positions. That's why they brought him up.
Here's Atkins, who will take the pitch outside. And obviously, you get to the trading deadline in late July, and the teams that are really looking for help and think they're going to make a run at the postseason, then they're willing to deal. That one in the air to left field. Atkins got a hold of it. Is this the one? Way back. Yeah. Goodbye. Home run. Garrett Atkins gets his first in an Oriole uniform.
A room service hanging curveball. So we can talk all we want about Trevor Cahill. He makes his living worm eaters, ground balls. He hangs a curveball. Atkins says, "Thank you very much." What's this ball? Oh, yeah, right in the zone. There you go, number one.
So Garrett Atkins, I don't know if he knew when that home run came, but by getting the home run on that at bat, he did not tie his career-long homerless drought. If he had not gotten it in that at bat, he would have equaled the longest drought of his career in home runs. So he takes care of that with his first of the year.
And if he was playing first base, that would have been the first home run by a first baseman.
Yep.
Wigington said, "That's my mission tonight, playing
That's
first."
Right. 146 at bats between homers for Garrett Atkins. And he gets the Orioles on the board. And that is the first hit, by the way, the Orioles have off Trevor Cahill, who surrenders his 6th home run. One of the biggest changes for Cahill this year has been the fact that he's not been surrendering the homers at the rate he did last year. As a rookie, he allowed 27 home runs last season, tying a franchise record for rookies, pitchers, and home runs hit off them. Ray Fosse was saying before the game, talking with him about Cahill, said that's a huge difference because he's been able to keep the pitch down. He said it's the difference between throwing a pitch at the waist or a little higher, or the knees and a little higher. Last year he was at the waist. This year at the knees. 2-2 delivery as Torres will take the pitch up high, and the count goes full, 3-2.
Well, I always thought when I got a big lead that I was all right till somebody showed the team I was trying to get out, we can get to this guy. And maybe that hanging curveball will encourage the Orioles. But this guy is not unhittable. He doesn't walk a whole lot of guys, so he's going to be around the plate.
As Torres down to first, that is a foul ball.
Yeah, one of the two 21-year-old pitchers they had, Brett Anderson, we saw him in Oakland, and then, of course, he had some arm problems. He's rehabbing down at AAA Sacramento, about 80 miles outside of San Francisco, so he'll be back. But both of them, Anderson won 11 games. Cahill was 10-13 with a 4.63 ERA.
Anderson's going to be here if he's not here already. He's completed his work in the minors. and is going to join the ball club. He was going to come up either today or tomorrow, and I don't think he was here before the game. And then he's going to pitch on Saturday. So they will get Anderson back into their rotation for Saturday's game. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and his Torres will take it to left field. Rosales and AT BAL. And there are 2 down.
ADAM.
Adam Rosales.
Yeah, and AT BAL.
Thank you so much. The Orioles host the Red Sox, Yankees, and Mets during the big 9-game homestand beginning June 4. Don't miss a week of rivals, interleague action, and a ton of great giveaways and promotions. For details, 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. 2 down here, and Corey Patterson, who grounded out his first time up, stands in. In at third base, Kuzmanov. That's why. That is a perfect drag bunt. Base hit.
Yep, if you can't defense that. And when you're down by 4, it turns the lineup over, gets Wigington, who's leading the team in home runs, to the plate. Perfect. Perfecto.
I don't see many who can drag a bunt anymore like that, and it's almost always the left-handers, because you literally drag it along with you down the line at first, and if you can stay with the ball or get in front of it, you're going to get a base hit.
Well, when I was a kid growing up in New York, Mickey Mantle used to do that. I mean, on his way to 536 home runs, but he drag bunt because you don't always, I mean, you like to hit home runs always, but sometimes when you're 4 runs down, you need to get a guy on base. You're not getting a lot of hits against Trevor Cahill. It's the perfect play. And how many guys practice that?
Not many.
Nope.
And it keeps everybody honest on the defense.
Well, tell you what, next time we'll show you where they play.
Yeah. Gives you some inches, some feet.
Yards.
Yards to work with at first and third in particular. Patterson on. Wigington, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Way outside. Ty continuing to be one of the leading average hitters in his own home ballpark. He's hitting .362 here at Camden Yards. That is the 6th best batting average for a player in his own home yard in the American League. Big cut. That's where they've worked Wiggy Cahill, keeping that pitch down and away. 2-1.
Yeah, he struck him out on a really good changeup. Just kind of dropped out of the zone. Well, that was a 2-strike pitch, obviously, and hopefully Ty will get something to hit before that.
2-1 delivery on the way in the dirt. Good scoop made by Suzuki. I was looking at those home batting averages today. Interesting that in the new ballpark in Minnesota, Justin Morneau's hitting .405. He's got the best home average in the American League. And Denard Span of the Twins at .365 as the 4th best average in a home ballpark. So the new yard has been good to at least those 2 Twins offensively. There goes Patterson, swung on and fouled off. Corey had a good jump, and the count goes to 3-2.
Yeah, good speed. Stay out of a force play, even though it's 3-1 count. Even though you're down by 4. I saw another thing. Justin Morneau's been getting highest on base percentage in the American League, getting on at 49%, 49.7% of the time. Ooh, it's a pretty good start.
He scores some runs. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Patterson will be going. They play behind him. And Wigington battles away as he fouls that one off. And the count stays 3 balls and 2 strikes. Vladimir Guerrero of Texas leads the American League in RBIs with 42. Wigington is 10 behind him in 9th place in runs batted in. Guerrero's having an extraordinary season in Texas. He'll be headed to the All-Star game in Anaheim. 3-2 delivery again, and that's going to be taken outside, and Wigington draws the walk.
And here comes Kurt Young. Young pitcher, 22 years old, 86 days. We get that in the notes. I would just tell you he's 22. But and it all started on the drag bunt.
Little discussion here to try and settle his starter down.
Well, if you go back to the late innings yesterday, and we talked about how we showed you the numbers of Nick Markakis. He's having a marvelous year, but the home run numbers are down because he doesn't get too many pitches like he did to pull. That was a slider from Michael Wirtz. They just pitch him away, let him hit it there. Of course, he does that so well. Still hitting over 300.
Orioles' first chance with a runner in scoring position. Well, the A's have already gone 3 for 4. The Orioles winning a ball game last night, going 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. They are behind in this one, though, 5-1. They've got 2 on and 2 down. And when you get the 2 down, here's the man you want at the plate. You get 2 out RBIs. And Nick will take it up high. This May, he's hitting .337. That is good news for Nick because his career in May has been a .267 month. The lowest month batting average-wise in his career is the month of May, but he's way above that so far this month. Good play. Suzuki again dancing to the inside and a 2-0 count.
Now change up, and he just bounces it, drags it across the plate, and Kurt Suzuki keeps the ball in front of him. So another good hitter's count.
So Cahill at an early defining moment for him here in the 3rd inning. 2 down, 2 on, a 5-1 lead. Marquez will take the pitch for a strike, and he goes to 2-1.
Yeah, perfect pitcher's pitch. He didn't want to swing at that. He's done a nice job when we talk about Trevor Cahill. They're only 4 for 18 with runners in scoring position on the year. But one swing away from really getting back into this game.
Nick with the 8-game hit streak. 2-1 delivery to him. In the air to center. Rajai Davis waiting for it to come down. And he's got it. The Orioles will get a run as Garrett Atkins delivers his first as an Oriole. A solo shot to put him on the board. 5-1. Inner Harbor on the water. Take the water taxi around. Have lunch. Walk a little bit.
Good way to get the ballpark on the water taxi.
It is. Especially if the street's
if you're coming down Lombard Street.
Jake Fox.
That or a hovercraft or something like that.
Something that goes
every day.
High.
I went my tricky way today, and they were still doing a street on Patterson
But see,
Street.
you made a mistake because Lombard today was open.
Yeah, but
they'd scraped it and they hadn't.
I did not, from Mayor Blake, I did not get the text message.
I understand. Fouled away.
All right, maybe I overlooked it.
Fox hitting at 200. He's got a home run, 9 RBIs. Grounded out on a fine play made by his Torres, who robbed him of a hit.
Yeah, a couple of hits in Oakland.
Yeah.
Off of Brian Mattis right there.
4 strikeouts for Mattis.
So the young lefty has settled down. And again, I mean, it was really the one bad pitch. Did not get it into the Rosales, and that was a 3-run home run. And now all of a sudden, talk about hitting the outside corner. Well, there it is, right on the corner.
So he gets the out. He struck out 3 of the last 4 batters. Ellis grounded out his first time up, and he will take the pitch outside for a ball. Mark Ellis, 0 for 10 since returning from the DL. 1-0 delivery. We talked about Coco Crisp, who went on the DL today. We should mention that obviously they had to make a call up, and it was Landon Powell, the catcher, who was called back up. He is with the ball club again, 3rd time this season he's been with the A's. That one to short is Turris up. Ellis retired. All right, here we go. It's that time of the night you all wait for it anxiously with bated breath. Here's our AT&T Mobility trivia question. Which set of brothers have the most combined wins? Maddox, Necros, Perrys, or Martinez's?
Oh, that's pretty close. It's between the Necros and the Perrys.
I take the Necros.
I'm going with the Perrys. Perrys.
Okay, and the answer is Bill and Joe Necro.
Well, how many do the Perrys have?
I don't know how many.
They don't have that
Necros
many.
had. One of the Pattersons, they haven't won any.
Forget the Perrys.
Here's Cliff Pennington, because they don't pitch. And that'll be taken away 2-0. Patterson family on hand here. Mom on the right. Had a great night last night. Amber had a chance to talk with her.
Yeah, Corey talking about that down to the cage.
Yep. Filed away. Said Guthrie came out and said to me, "Your mother's on TV." This is during the game. And Corey said, "How do you know that?" He said, "Well, I went back to look at some film and the TV was on back there, and I saw your mother being interviewed on television." So he knew during the game that his mom, both the Pattersons knew, mom had been on TV before the game was even over. Pennington, here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, I told Corey that she was politically correct in saying I just want both of the boys to do well. And then Corey said yes, and we won.
And mother had no comment except to say, "I knew somebody would." Here's the 2-2 delivery. It was funny last night after the game, though. She was sitting halfway between the clubhouse. And you get there are family areas right outside the Orioles clubhouse, which opens up about 10-15 minutes after the game. Same thing at the other end. She was right in the middle on a bench that's halfway down in the circle downstairs. I thought that was cute. All by herself. 3-ball, 2-strike count on Pennington. And she's here for the 3-game series. Great that she was able to get her to enjoy it. Here's the 3-2 delivery on the way, and Pennington down to third. Miguel Tejada. Good stretch to get him. That's 7 in a row. Retired now by Brian Mattis. The offense needs to give him a little hand. 5-1 A's. sandwiches are great, and those two know it. They didn't have that hair until they ate those sandwiches. Look what happened. A 5-1 A's lead. Here's Miguel Tejada. And he takes the pitch inside from Trevor Cahill.
Yeah, the other lady was gesturing. I really prefer the pastrami.
As opposed to the
corned beef.
Corned beef, yes.
You could see read the lips. Both very happy, though.
Very happy. Chopped down to third foul. A 1-1 strike count.
I did the blood drive thing here for the Red Cross on Saturday, and actually one of the gentlemen from Atmos came over, hovered over me, and said, "Did you like those sandwiches?" I said, "Yeah, can you label them next time?"
Why, you wanted the other one?
I didn't want to chase you home, though, because you scurried out here with the mustard, the sandwich. Never seen you move so quickly.
You start chasing me home, we're going to have problems.
No, I didn't.
A 1-1.
Well, you can't chase anybody here in downtown Baltimore. Come on.
You won't go very fast.
No, you will not be going very fast if you're in an automobile.
1 ball, 2 strike count, and reaching. Tejada, strikeout victim, his first time up. Cahill has walked 1 and struck out 2 so far. Brian Mattis a walk and 4 strikeouts. Cahill giving up the 1 run on 2 hits, while the A's have 5 runs on 5 hits. Haven't been many left on. They've gotten on and come around. Orioles have stranded a couple. 1 left on by the A's. Cahill at 63. 1-2 on Tejada. And go the other way and foul.
Well, we told you about that magic number. They have yet. They're 16-0 if they have the lead after 6 innings. Now, that's just could be 16-1 if you get close enough and then get to the back end of their bullpen.
Third best overall team ERA in the American League belongs to Oakland. 1-2 delivery. Tejada reaching, just gets enough to keep the at-bat alive. They are going to be a buyer in the market when it gets to trading time, because they're going to be in a race, because the West just isn't that good, and I don't think anybody's going to get any kind of a lead in the Western Division. So it'll be up to the company overseeing the works of Bob Guerin over there to find some players. Right field playable. Sweeney there. Tejada retired. Guys were saying today, like many teams, we need that big bat. We're not scoring runs. We don't have a bat in the lineup that gives us that big thump that can get us the 1 or 2 or 3 run homer, and then with our pitching we can win. So they'll be in the market to trying to find some power. The trouble is, for the A's and Guerin and the rest of it, so will about 8 other teams.
Well, yeah. So if you don't have it, it may be difficult to buy, especially your core players, your core hitters.
Yeah.
We even saw that in Washington. You got Zimmerman, then you had Dunn. Dunn might be the perfect American League DH guy, and then right behind him, Willingham, who had a couple home runs in the series.
Always interesting when you get to that point, and every reason to believe there are going to be a number of clubs who are going to feel as though they've got a shot at making the postseason. 0-1 count, Matt Wieters. He flied out to left, his first time up. And that pitch is going to be up and into him. He rolls away, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Orioles with a couple of wins, 3 losses against the A's so far on the season. Orioles have only won a couple of season series this year, so Dave Tremblay's ball club, if they could win, come back and win this one, they would have this series guaranteed them. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and Wieters will take it inside. Good eye on it, and the count goes to 3-1. As we've noted here at Camden Yards, this A's team has been really tough since 2000. The best win percentage at 30-12 than the Red Sox, Yankees, Angels, and White Sox. 3-2 on Matt Wieters. Baseball Prospectus looking at the quarter poll, talking today about their picks. They picked the Rays in the East and the wild card team to be either the Red Sox, Yankees, or Blue Jays. The Twins to win the Central. Tigers in a fight, but the Tigers are struggling. Their run differential is only a +6. So they're playing some ball games where they're mighty close.
Yeah, they blew they had a 4-3 lead in Seattle today, and Seattle came back and beat them.
That's the second walk surrendered by Cahill, and Wieters draws it. 1 on, 1 down. Jones coming up. Josh Wilson had a couple of RBIs in the 8th inning in that game for Seattle, and they scored 4 in the 8th to come back and get that win against the Tigers 5-4. Rangers favored in the West, with the A's making a run at it. Jones will go after the first pitch and pop it up to third base. Kuzmanov 2 down.
Yeah, all over Adams' fist. And the one thing it at least appears, he's not throwing grounders. He's able to run the ball in on the right-handers. And it must be late move. Yeah, it must be late movement because they're chasing.
So he gets the second out. Wieters still on at first, and here's Moore, who grounded out his first time up.
You notice he hadn't flipped any curveballs up there since Atkins hit one out. You know, his other changeup and his sinker are so good. It's just a pitch you show him out of the zone. He hung one and he got hurt for it.
Scott Moore coming up on the 21st to play for the Orioles. He was hitting .276 AAA, 5 homers, 23 RBIs with the Tides in Norfolk, and getting the start at second base in the ball game tonight. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Moore will take that on the inside corner. So another lineup differential tonight, and so the Orioles now 42 different lineups have been used, more than any other team. San Diego, Cleveland close behind. Moore lifts that one. Rosales in left, and he's got it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on. It is a 5-1 A's lead. He singled in the first inning, stole third, would come around to score. Third inning, got another single, stole second, error on the throw, ended up over at third. Martin brought him in with an RBI base hit. 2 runs scored, 2 singles, and 2 stolen bases. That's a pretty good night for 2 at bats.
Yeah, that and the 3-run home run. That's your offense for Oakland. And of course, Mattis has, at least to this point, really settled down, retired the last 7 in a row.
Top of the order against him, and at first and third are the Orioles against Rajai Davis. And he shows bunt and will take the pitch for a ball. Well, this team has already gone over by about 2 the runs they average on the road. They've got 5 in this ball game. Brian Mattis, the 1-0 delivery. That one is in that hole. Knocked down Tejada, gets up and gets him. That's what we were talking about. Even though the play is made, that's the advantage Davis got, having Tejada playing in.
Oh, yeah, and, you know, you fake a bunt, you do it before you get to 1 strike because the third baseman's going to have to come in. And, again, able to go back just a little bit. Good angle to the ball and then the rocket. I mean, boy, could he throw. Of course, Tejada's always been known as one of the better throwing shortstops, now third basemen in baseball.
That's our Home Depot defense. More saving, more doing. The power of Home Depot. Derek Barton will take it for a strike. He was never the lead singer for the Animals. He had a sacrifice and an RBI base hit. One away here in the 5th inning. 0-1 delivery to him. Big breaking ball that's going to miss inside.
Derek Barton is a lead singer for the Animals?
No, he wasn't.
Oh. I didn't think so, but
1-1 deliveries fouled away.
I'm still trying to figure that one out. That's all right.
No, it's too early.
I'm just staring at my La Dolce Vita honey that Mike Flanagan dropped off from the apiary out on the farm.
It is good.
It's going to be in the herbal tea tomorrow morning.
Yes. Breaking ball. I'm trying to get Karen to try the honeycomb that you can just chew like gum. Because it's so good.
Really?
Yes. Our stage manager here, but
yeah, well, I know Karen. She's to your left.
But the people out there didn't.
No, okay.
She's reluctant. I don't know why. It's great. 2-2 delivery, and that'll be fouled off.
Wait, so you like chop it up?
Well, you just take a knife and you just cut it a little bit. It's in the comb.
How does one get that?
Well, I have it back here because Mike brought it in.
Oh, okay.
So
you need like a bib, and I mean,
I do.
Eating a pair.
I do. You don't, but I do. 2-2 delivery to the guy who's not Eric Burton. Boy, that barrel just went right by Brian Mattis. Moore gets the out on the ground ball. Barton is retired. And 2 down here in the 5th inning. Look at that.
Well, base hit for an RBI the last time for Derek Barton. This time all over his fist. Inside, if he needed way up on the trade mark. He dodges the bat. Scott Moore throws him out.
Gee.
Yeah, you don't even need H.H. Gregg to explode that bat. Just shattered.
H.H. Gregg, they make buying TV and appliances simple. H.H. Gregg, price and advice guaranteed. Our Exmo. Suzuki a single and a run scored, and he has popped out. Hitting .258 on the year now for Kurt Suzuki. One of their offensive leaders and will be throughout the season. 4 home runs, 16 RBIs. DL has kept his ABs down a bit. He's just now starting to reach the about 95 at bats. The guys who have played every day are up over 160 at bats on the season. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Slow roller. Tejada's going to have to make a great play. Barehanded. Got him! Miguel Tejada third. Another outstanding play. 2 in the inning by the Orioles' third baseman to help Brian Mattis. Retires the side in order, and that's 10 in a row set down. Beautiful night here, 88 degrees. Here comes Garrett Atkins, and Garrett Atkins at 8:26 has our fourth drive of the game.
Yeah, high curveball, and it soars out of here. Number 1 home run, first as an Oriole for Garrett Atkins.
Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one. Atkins will foul that one off. He's the designated hitter in the ball game tonight. Garrett trying to pick up the pace now, hitting just .229. That's his first home run, 7 RBIs. Orioles had hoped for a power bat at first base, and it has been a slow start for Garrett Atkins. 0-1 delivery. He's going to miss outside from Cahill. 1-1.
Yeah, you just haven't seen the type of swing that produced 25, 29 home runs, 20 home runs for Colorado.
1-1 delivery.
The natural thing is, I said, wow, they're getting a guy from Colorado. But of his 99 home runs he hit up there, the average was about 70 points higher in Colorado, but home runs 50 there, 49 on the road. So the power number is still good away from him.
But that's what was impressive. If it was just the Colorado home runs, you would have been.
And of course, they have the humidor now, so people, I haven't been up there in years, but they say that it's kind of evened out.
It evened it out a lot. Yeah. Pitch is taken outside, and the count will go full. That's what the Orioles need now. Base runners. Cahill has walked a couple. He's only walked 9. Well, he's walked 9 on the year in the 35 innings. So that's not a
very
great
passable.
race.
Yeah,
I mean that's good.
He only did one game. I think he had 3 in one game early on, but usually 1 and 2 walks.
3 ball, 2 strike count.
You just need Bob Guerin to think about going to the bullpen.
Grounded to short. Pennington. So Atkins is retired. 1 away here in the 5th inning. Join members of the 70 World Series Orioles. It's a private luncheon at Oriole Park on Saturday, June 26 at 11. Brooks will be there. Frank, Jim, Earl, the 70 MVP, Boog Powell. And you'll receive an autographed ball signed by all returning players and your own personal photo with members of the 70 team and the World Series trophy. Info 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com/1970 reunion. Outside for a ball is Torres, flied out to left. His first time up. 5-1 lead for the A's, who are out hitting the Orioles 5-2 in the ball game. Home run by Atkins. The Orioles run. First run, 4 innings, 3 hits off Brian Mattis. Big blow. Rosales hit a 3 RBI homer. Strike on the inside corner. Barton's got an RBI base hit, and Suzuki an RBI single.
And that's what a lead does for you. I mean, you get behind Cesar and 2-0, and he takes a pitch because you have to. Now, if the game was close, he'd be wailing. Now, you still have to throw a strike, which Trevor Cahill was able to do.
Zaris Torres, he's had 7 hits, 3 walks in his last 6 starts. He'd been in a real funk of 4 for 41 prior to that. So he hopes he's gotten out of that hole. Off-speed pitch, and boy, did he float that one in.
I don't know if Mr. Asturias thinks it got the plate. It may have gone around it. Not to mention, you don't see that many high strikes. And outside corner.
Cahill gets it. It's humid tonight. You've seen both pitchers wiping the brow a bit. It was 88 degrees when we started. Humidity was up. A gorgeous evening. Just getting the sunset now, the end of it. Beautiful colors in the sky.
Yeah, Trevor was born in Oceanside, California. He was actually their 2nd round draft choice, but they had lost their 1st round because of a free agent signing in 2006. So he was their number 1 guy. A little over $500,000 signing bonus, and then rushed his way through the minor leagues.
Second youngest pitcher working in the majors at 22 years old. Falls behind here, a 3-0 count. Patterson a single, and he is grounded out. Corey will try and get his way on. Suzuki out. Baseball stat of the day. Couldn't pass this one up. David Ortiz took 30 seconds to round the bases in a home run on Monday. There's actually an online site called Weezen, W-E-Z-E-N, Weezen/ball.com. It was the slowest home run trot of the season. They measure those. 5 of the 6 slowest home runs, according to WeasonBall.com, belong to David Ortiz. There's the walk picked up by Patterson.
Well, maybe we can time Rosales'.
I was going to say.
Yeah, because that was a sprint.
Yeah. He almost went by the runner in front of him who was scoring.
Well, it certainly didn't show anybody up with that long and, gesturing and tapping your chest and
flapping your wing.
Yeah, flexing the bicep, the whole bit.
Here's Ty Wigginton.
Another walk gets Wiggy to the plate. Still trying to hit the first home run as a first baseman for the Orioles. Hadn't been done.
Strike on the outside corner.
I mean, it looks like he is tiring. You could just see him maybe, look.
There's actually his body language.
Yeah, it really is, And so maybe a gapper, score a run. Great speed at first.
0-1 count, 2 away. Wigginton holds up. They want to check it first. No.
Even that slider was up.
Tell you, do we have a crew or what? Rosales took 16 seconds to run around the bases, compared to David Ortiz, who took 30. So Rosales may have the quickest home run trot so far this year. Runner goes. Wigginton will take it. Throws. Suzuki's not going to be in time. Patterson's got a stolen base.
Yeah, when you have speed and you time the pitcher and you know what Suzuki, his release point is, anything over 3.4, pretty good running situation. That's for an average runner. Corey Patterson certainly is an average, so he makes it easily.
5 stolen bases for him, 5 out of 6 against Suzuki, who throws out 30% of base stealers. He's in scoring position now for Wigginton with a 2-1 count. Cahill misses that slider away, and it goes to 3-1.
Well, Ty said, I am hitting second. I'm going to have to take some pitches. That was a pretty good discerning eye there. I mean, little change up, floated down away. Now, that's what he struck out on, so maybe he is seeing it a little better out of Trevor Cahill's hand. And there are guys getting kind of stirring around in the Oakland bullpen, which is a good news for the Orioles.
3-1 delivery. That will catch the corner. He stays away from Wigginton, and the count goes to 3-2 on Ty. Orioles down by 4. Runner at second base, Corey Patterson. Wigginton trying to get him home. Leading RBI man for the Orioles. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and Wigginton a ground into the hole. It's going to be knocked down and played by Ellis. Well, big out there. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on. It remains a 5-1 Oakland lead. Theo Harris with you at Camden Yards. The Orioles with a chance to guarantee themselves a series win if they could come back in this one. They are trailing 5-1. Kuzmanov leads it off. Brian Mattis has retired the side in order the last 3 innings.
Well, there is your in-game box score, and again the big swing. Rosales with a 3-run home run, and then Rajai Davis just running all over the place after getting on base with a couple of soft singles. It doesn't matter how he gets on. It could be hard, soft, in between. He generates some serious offense with his speed.
2-0 count on Kuzmanov. And the pitch taken away. And a 3-0 count. The leadoff batter. Only 1 walk surrendered by Brian Mattis in the ball game came in the first inning.
Yeah, he was just a little wild in the strike zone where he got in trouble. He didn't hit the ball that hard other than the 3-run home run. And he's now retired 13 in a row. Actually make it 10 in a row. The last 10. Hayes.
And that one's going to be a base hit down the line. Patterson over to get it. Kuzmanov on his way to second. And a leadoff double as he took advantage of getting ahead in the count. He's on the leadoff 2-bagger. This summer, your kids can learn how to play like the pros with the pros. It's the official Orioles summer baseball camp. Kids 7 to 16, professional training. Former O's and current O's will be there. Free membership to the Junior Orioles Dugout Club and a chance to play here at Oriole Park. Camps will be held in Baltimore, Ellicott City, Westminster, and York. For details, 410-472-3500. You can go to Orioles.com. Bring a glove like that young man did. So a runner on, and obviously at this point of the ball game, 6th inning, any more runs added by Oakland to that lead make it doubly hard for the Orioles to get back.
No, so Ryan Sweeney's going to try to hit a ball, either get him in, get him over, hit a ball to the right side, and then they'll have to play the infield in. And right here, Matt Wieters, 91 pitches on a hot, humid night. A little conference. How do you feel? What do you want to do? Let's get back on track because he did go 3-1 on Kuzmanov, and he doubled on a changeup he pulled across the plate. And right here, he's behind a guy that hits lefties not as well, certainly, as he does righties.
Romano may make his first major league appearance in this ball game.
It was a nice interview he did with Amber. I'll do anything. I'll be a long guy, short guy, middle guy. They're giving me an opportunity to play in the big leagues.
Orioles had squeezed into the middle. Tough play, more. One hopper, not in time. So Sweeney will get a hit, extending his hit streak to 5 games, and the A's have the first 2 on here in the 6th inning.
So the counts again, they have a lot to do it. Ryan Sweeney trying to just get a ball to the right side. He can look 2-0 for a fastball, gets it. Good range by Scott Moore playing up the middle, and no play, and then you'll see Wigginton just kind of snatch it and then come right off and make sure the runner at third base stays there. Another conversation.
Both teams will make their bullpens active. We want to, while we have a moment, extend best wishes to Eric Chavez, the longtime Oakland A player who's gone back on the DL. And those are the career numbers, and may end up being his career numbers, because he's got a couple of vertebrae in the neck that are a very real problem, and a tremendous career Gold Glove player, first-round pick back in '96, and whether or not he's going to be able to come back is a real issue, and he's admitted it.
What I liked about him was not only was a terrific player, 27, 33 home runs, all the Gold Gloves, but he chose to stay in Oakland, came up through the organization. At that time was going to be a free agent, signed a nice contract for a lot of money, but didn't go somewhere else.
No
loyalty. So we do wish him well.
He's had, I think now it's 5 operations since '07.
Oh, shoulders and backs
and
and then the neck.
Yeah.
We saw him. He was playing when we were out there in April.
Yep. That's going to be a base hit into right field, and that's going to get a run in. So Rosales has had himself a night. Rosales with a 3 RBI homer, now an RBI single, and it is a 6-1 A's lead.
Well, this is what you want if you're Bob Guerin or any manager. You want somebody that understands how to play. You got a man on third, instead of pulling the ball, he slices it. Look at him stay inside the ball. In other words, not around it. Didn't pop it up. Look for a ball to get into the outfield. And there's your 6th run for the A's.
And that will be it for the Orioles starter. And for Brian Mattis, it may be an extension of the losing streak to 5 games. And we will see a Major League debut when we come back. Number 5-0 Mata's on the pitch. Four runs on 3 hits. Rosales with a 3 RBI homer, and then settle down. And he would end up striking out 4, walking only 1, retiring 10 in a row until he got to the 6th inning, where the first 3 A's got on.
So again, tough night. He did make some nice adjustments, and now we get to see Frank Mata for the first time out of Venezuela, 26-year-old right-hander, and there you see it, Major League debut. He said the one thing, because the Orioles got him as from the Twins, was basically the Orioles are giving him a chance he never had, pitching AAA and now in the major leagues.
And Jake Fox will be the first man he faces, and takes it inside for a ball. 6 years in the minor leagues for Mata, 216 games, only 6 as a starter. He was the closer for Norfolk, had 8 saves at the AAA level this year. 1-0 delivery, and that's going to miss inside. He was strong at AAA, 2-1, 8 saves, 1.86 ERA, and 18 appearances. 4th in the International League in saves, and opponents right-handers hitting only 133 against him on the year.
Well, it all starts with throwing strikes, and again, not supposed to be overpowering. He said his fastball and the slider are his best pitches. There's a fastball.
That one to left field, and on the warning track, Patterson. He will make the catch. Runner's tag. Throw's going to come to third base on the one hop, but not in time. So Sweeney hustles over to third. Rosales goes down to second. Fox retired.
Yeah, Frank, a big guy, and pretty simple. I mean, just break your hands over your knee. And fastball counts. You don't want to get into those, because Fox just missed a home run. And then again, good scouting reports by Oakland, because they know Corey Patterson, he can run, but he doesn't have a great throwing arm. They take advantage of it. And now you have to play your infield in, trailing by 5 here in the 6th inning.
1 run already across here in the 6th.
Counter forces here. You have a hitter that wants to get the ball in the air, and you got a pitcher that wants him to either strike him out, pop him up, or get a grounder.
Ellis at the plate, looking for his first hit. Since coming off the DL, he's gone 0 for 11. Grounded out twice in this ball game. And the A's threatening one big hit right here to really open this ball game up. Brian Mattis responsible for Sweeney at third and Rosales at second. Ellis will take the pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Well, that'll play in the big leagues. 95 on the corner. It's a real good starting point. Look at those numbers. 5 for 7. And as you mentioned, May came in at what, 231?
Yep.
And again, on the road, not a very good offensive team. Otherwise, it'd win more games. Batted pitching.
1-1 delivery, and that's going to be blooped to center, not particularly deep. Sweeney's going to tag. Jones has got it. Here comes the throw. And got him at the plate. And leaders Took a little shot on the way by from Sweeney. They get the out, though, as Jones makes the play. It's a double play to end the inning. And a big play by Adam. They are out taking a look at Wieters. Let's see where he got hit here. Not sure, but got the out. Get a big double play to end the inning. Matt Wieters attended to in the field and then walked off. Really hard to tell what the problem is.
Yeah, maybe the torque of just twisting your body to make the tag, and then, you know, it could be the left arm, right arm, or whatever, but there was some effect. Of course, that's what he does so best. He's made some great tags, being 6'5", long arms, able to go up the line, catch the ball, and then make the tag. Yeah, Richie Van Sel's, Orioles head trainer, just again probably the extension of swiping the tag
up on that left shoulder. So we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Trevor Cahill, the A's starter, on the mound. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Nick Markakis 0 for 2. He has grounded out and flied out. Wieters due up 3rd in the inning. That'll be down low for a ball.
Well, there's your in-game box score. And again, Corey Patterson, single, stolen base. Atkins with his first home run of the year. And also as an Oriole. And that's your 1 run. Couple of chances. Markakis skied to center with a chance to drive one in his last time up.
Orioles have left 4 on, 2 in scoring position in the ball game. And Markakis to short, where Pennington will haul it in. And there's one away here in the 6th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Miguel Tejada with an 0 for 2 in the ball game. He has struck out and flied out. Orioles with only the 2 hits, the Atkins home run and that single by Corey Patterson. Tejada will take that one for a ball. Well, the O's need a major comeback, and this is that inning we've talked about where the A's, if they get the lead after 6, 7 lost 1. Hit hard, but right at Pennington. 2 down.
Well, the kind of game where, I mean, it really kind of plays well into Trevor Cahill's hand. He's young and only 22, but he throws a lot of strikes. I mean, he's had brief bouts of wildness, but he throws a lot of grounders. After you get 4 in the first, you get him out, they get you another one. Not one pitch has really meant the whole game tonight. That's perfect to be able to throw enough strikes to command your stuff, have good enough stuff, and then have a 6-1 lead with a real good back end of the bullpen.
He's pitching on just 4 days rest, which he seems to like. He's won a couple of ball games here, the 2 wins, and he's only had 4 days rest. 0-1 count on Matt Wieters. 2 down, nobody on. Wieters has walked and flied out, and a ground ball down to third. And boy, Cahill, he wanted a quick inning here, and he got it. He retires the side in order, and the A's remain on top by 5.
Training to continue their rehab. Now Brian is expected to play in about 5 to 7 extended spring training games, and then he will go out on a rehab assignment. So that June 9th date in which he is eligible to come off of the disabled list is a little unrealistic right now. It's going to be cutting it close. He'll probably come off a little later than that. Also, Mike Gonzalez continues to rehab down in Sarasota. Right now the concern is his arm strength. That is what they're going to focus on. He's pitching without pain, but they want to get his velocity up, so they're going to put him on a long throwing program. Hopefully he'll be back somewhere around that June 9th date where he's eligible to come off as well. Gary?
Pretty good ball club in Sarasota, maybe.
Yeah.
A lot of players down there.
Too many.
Mark Ellis stands in. And that pitch is going to be taken for a strike. Orioles will get their bullpen active.
Yeah, Frank Mata, as a closer, as you look at Matt Albers, who can pitch multiple innings, and of course he dominated right-handers. They only hit 6 for 45, so good test here. See if he can get the lefties out. Slows his arm down on the splitter.
Yeah. Cliff Pennington actually is at the plate. 2 ball, 1 strike count. It'll be Pennington, then Davis, and Barton at the top of the order. Pennington has struck out and grounded out. He's had an 0 for 7 so far in the first 2 games of this series. Is up to an 0 for 13 streak right now. And will foul that off. Even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's an Oakland team that hits only .230 on the road coming into the ball game, but they've got 6 runs on 6 hits. Their last road trip, they got outscored 42-21 by Tampa Bay and Toronto. They had a miserable trip. Made up for it when they came home and swept the Giants. Final 3 games at home. 2-2 delivery fouled away. It'll stay at 2-2.
Well, Frank Mata, it's not about stuff because he's 94, 95. It's about command, and he'll get an opportunity with all the injuries. I mean, just think about it. And he made it very clear that while he likes the Orioles, they gave him a chance, number 1, to pitch in AAA. Never got that in Minnesota's organization, and now in the big leagues.
2-2 is going to miss inside. He certainly has earned his way up here. His minor league record in 6 years: 15 wins, 16 losses, 33 saves, minor league ERA overall of 4.08. He's been a reliever for virtually all of his pro career. He gets the ground ball to Moore at second base on a 3-hopper. Pennington is retired, 1 down in the 7th inning. Vote for your favorite O's for the All-Star game. You can do it at Orioles.com, and you could win a Vote Orioles VIP Experience All-Star Sweepstakes. A lucky winner, 4 tickets to an upcoming game, VIP parking, on-field access to watch BP, meet and greet with the All-Stars, and a personalized All-Star game batting practice jersey. Go to Orioles.com/All-Star for details.
Of course, he did get that one start back in 2002.
Yes.
247 appearances coming in this year, and the one lonely start.
Get a taste. Here's Rajai Davis.
Probably got nervous. You know, that's the classic story about a guy that loses his last game of the year because he always, you know, couldn't calm himself down. Manager said, you know what? Hey, thanks for the effort. By the way, you're starting opening day next year. Think about it all winter. You heard that one.
That's why they don't tell him.
Exactly.
Great pitch down and away, and the count goes to 0-2.
Yeah, a lot of guys just like the fact that the phone rings. They pick it up. They go, Mata, it's you, and the adrenaline rushes, and you go in and, you know, you do your thing. Starting's a whole different animal, especially if you go a month without.
Rajai Davis, who can fly. As Torres gets it there, not in time. An infield hit for Davis, who now has a 3-hit ball game, and Dave Tremblay is on his way out to talk with the first base umpire, Angel Campos.
Well, you really got to shorten up because even the routine ball is not routine with Davis running. I mean, a good breaking ball. And anytime you go, you could see the angle. The angle was away from first base. So instead of cutting it close, the minute you go towards the outfield, you're going to beat it. Or it's going to be bang, bang, where the umpire, you know, could have gone either way, I suppose.
Normally, defense will probably get that call, but boy, it was really close. So a 3-hit ball game for Davis, and now that speed is on again here with one away in the 7th inning. Rajai Davis and Dave Tremblay's got a pretty good one going down there. Home plate umpire Mark Carlson coming up, and you know Tremblay's turning around going, what are you doing up here? Now here comes the crew chief Jeff Kellogg over from third.
And there we go. Yeah, he's just trying to get the game going. That is his job. And Dave made his point more than once, most likely. Yeah, see, that's a tie, and tie goes to the runner. And now the track meet starts again.
Enough frustration bottled up in that manager to probably get ready to get heaved.
But I mean, there's no reason to get thrown out of this game. You're not going to make any point. Well, other than that,
makes his point, heads off. The only spectator was Jeff Nelson, the second base umpire.
Yeah, Wiggy thought he had him.
Yeah. Usually watching the foot at first of the runner and listening for the sound of the ball in the glove. So here is Derek Barton. And Davis already has 2 stolen bases, his 3rd 3-hit ball game of the year. Mata will throw over.
Yeah, about 95.
Pulling Wiggy's arm.
Oh, yeah. For my heat.
(6-1) lead, so the A's will look to get another run here, as many as they can, but they won't give up the opportunity here if they can get Davis going again. And again, the throw over.
I mean, you could either throw off, you got to go over, hold the ball, slide step, which usually affects your command of the plate. And you don't have too many Rajai Davises down at AAA. I mean, that's what, I mean, this guy is just built to ruin your rhythm.
Not going here. Whether he was misleading or not, he was pounding his right hip as though there was something wrong with it, talking to Todd Steverson, the first base coach. You see him still trying to move around there. Now, part of that may be he's actually got a problem, or part of it may be he just wants the Orioles to think he does. 1-0 count on Barton. Only one down, infield, double play depth.
Yeah, keeps trying to stretch that hip. That's what happens when you run all over the ballpark. Slide and dive and all that stuff. It's a consequence of getting on base so much.
Still walking off a pretty good lead over there. There he goes. Nothing wrong with that hit. That is his third stolen base of the ball game.
And they pitch out. And then Matt Wieters can't get a handle on the ball. I don't think he would have thrown him out anyway. Huge jump. Talk about full speed. Watch him pivot on that right foot, and then he's off to the races. Head down, straight steal.
So unless Juan Pierre got a stolen base today, he is now tied for the league lead in stolen bases. Now you got to watch him going to third.
And then the daylight play where Ventura sneaks behind him, gives him the glove, which would be his left hand, and you wheel and throw. Except Mata just joined the club. And even though he was in spring training, so you do those drills all the time.
2-0 delivery, and that'll be taken down low. The Mata falls behind here. Again, part of the problem is Davis, as the concentration on him has resulted in a 3-0 count on Derek Barton.
And even if you walk him, and we told you about Barton, 30 walks coming into tonight's game, he's still going to steal. And this is what speed does. It totally disrupts all the time. And there's a strike.
Barton is fourth in the league starting the day in free passes. Kevin Youkilis, Justin Morneau, and then Nick Markakis are the top three, followed by Barton. 3 ball, 1 strikeout. A's have a 6-1 lead in the ball game. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Runner at second, 1 away. 3-1 delivery. That's in there. Mata comes back after falling behind 3-0 to get the count full. Major league debut for him, and a lot to think about on the mound. 3-2 count. Brian Mattis, 5+ innings, 6 runs, 8 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 4. Pitcher a record for the Orioles. And the 3-2, runner not going, and he walked him. So now runners on at first and second with only 1 away. In the middle of the order, with Kurt Suzuki and then Kuzmanov due up, and that will be it for this major league debut. He will get a innings worth of work in, surrenders 1 hit, will be responsible for the 2 base runners who are on. And Matt Albers coming out of the bullpen for the Orioles as Frank Mata is in the major league record book. The preparation. Well, this one has been about Oriole pitchers who've not been able to stop, and Oakland offense, which has had its problems scoring, but they got 6 in this one.
Yeah, so Matt Albers will come in, and really good against right-handers. He's dominated him this year. Sinker baller. Last appearance, scoreless 8th inning on Sunday after giving up a couple of runs on Friday. So again, he just wears righties out. Lefties hit him pretty well, over 300, but righties only 10 for 42. So ground ball guy, if he's got the sinker going, you can see not a lot of strikeouts, and that's what the Orioles are looking for. And of course, Oakland's looking for continued offense.
Suzuki's 0 for 5 lifetime off Albers. Suzuki's had a single, 1 for 3, and a run scored. And again, an eye on Rajay Davis back there at second base. 2 on, 1 out. Try and get a ground ball here.
Well, Scott Moore is camped out. The Orioles second baseman, right? I mean, he's about 4 steps away, and he's going to have to scurry back to his defensive place, which is going to be pretty much up the middle.
A big hole between first and second for Kurt Suzuki here, as Moore's got no chance to get back to his normal fielding position. And obviously the Orioles feel if Suzuki hits it on the ground, it's going to be the other way.
Well, I think that's just the way Davis runs the bases. He got it back. Of course, he doesn't play a lot of second base, but you've got to get off the bag a little bit.
Here's the 0-1 delivery. Suzuki will foul it off himself, and that hurt. Seems like the worst thing you can do if you're playing for Oakland is come off the DL, because it means you're probably going to go right back on.
Well, there's that sinker right off one of the feet. Got the shin guard, and he goes a little higher. He needs to get a taller one, longer.
Suzuki came off the DL on May 16. This is the 10th game back. And the starting catcher needs a little time. Matt Wieters goes out to the mound to talk to Albers. Game 3 of this series coming up tomorrow, as it will be Brad Bergeson going against Gio Gonzalez. Bergeson 3-3, Gonzalez 5-3. 6:30 for O's Extra, 7 o'clock for the ball game. And then the Orioles will be heading off to Toronto and New York for a road trip. Suzuki, the 0-2, Moore right at second base, and he will take that inside in a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Albers with a look back at Davis. 1-2 delivery. That one in the air to left. Going back Patterson. Patterson back and holds it in. Runners were halfway or more, so they will scurry back. A lot of teams like to play the Oakland A's. Why? Because they play the shortest game time-wise in the American League.
I noticed that in the notes. Right about 11:30 today.
2:39, the shortest games in the majors. Houston, the White Sox, Seattle, San Francisco.
Well, we know the Giants have good pitching. They have great pitching. Oakland has great pitching. A couple of teams in there don't pitch that well.
Well,
but they don't hit too well either.
Score.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a great combination if you don't want to watch long games.
Score, and you're all set.
You're out of there in a hurry, whether you win or lose.
Here's Kuzmanov. He will take the pitch inside for a ball. Kuzmanov has doubled and scored, struck out and walked.
See, the big question is, what is the average time of a home game where they're 18-9 versus on the road where they're 5-14? That would be the real definitive answer.
I bet it's under 2.5 hours at home, or close to it. Because, boy, at home, they give up nothing.
No. Well, 2.79 runs a game.
And they don't score that many, but they, 3 or 4 to win.
Yeah, they come in at 500, as you mentioned. They've been outscored by 16, well, actually 26 runs. So 16 runs. 175 runs that they've scored and 191 they've given up.
Here's the 2-0 delivery on the way, and that one to right, that could be a problem. And a diving catch made! Nick Markakis saves at least 1 run, and maybe 2. Kuzmanov retired, and Nick Markakis with a big defensive play. 7th inning stretch time brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink.
inning. Derek Barton in the first home run by Garrett Atkins in inning number 3. Orioles get on the board. Adam Jones with a great throw to get Mata out of the inning. Strains his left shoulder a little bit, still in the game. So Mata struggles early, but then really calms down and retires 6 in a row. Atkins hits his first home run. Cahill goes the first 6 innings and leaves with a 6-1 lead as the A's go to their bullpen.
And on the mound, it'll be Jerry Blevins, who has had his problems of late. You see that 6 ERA. He's had trouble getting guys out. Last outing came against the Giants in that series over the weekend, and Blevins, just a third of an inning, struck out the batter he faced.
Yeah, they pitched, the last 20 scoreless innings as a team as they swept the series. So 5 runs over his last 4 games, and then, of course, it's been up and down. It's only 3 runs in his previous 12 games. So we will see if the Orioles can get something going here. And remember, they're 16-0 and leading with a lead going into the 7th inning or later. So pretty impressive numbers there.
26-year-old left-hander Adam Jones, 0 for 2 in the ball game. The Orioles only 2 hits off the starter, Trevor Cahill. He comes out working 6 innings, giving up 1 run on 2 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The home run by Atkins, the only run against him, and the only other hit, a Patterson single. Jones trying to keep an 11-game hit streak alive here. Blevins, that's fouled off Suzuki, who's had a tough inning. And the count goes to 2 strikes. And he's just saying, no, I'm all right. As the pitcher, Blevins, started to come in to have a word with him. Bottom of the 7th inning. Orioles have been out hit 9-2 in the ball game. Cahill leaves with a chance to go 3-2 and 2-1 against the Orioles.
Yeah, Blevins 6'6", and another guy that never started a game in the minor leagues.
A topper. Suzuki throws it wild. Adam will stay at first base as Ellis backs it up.
Yeah, I think they got to give him a base hit on that. Mainly because that's not your normal play. It is almost halfway to the mound.
It's a hit.
I mean, it does make a rush throw, and it does tail into the runner. I mean, the ball's way out there, and Suzuki's coming to get it. Of course, he fouled the ball off his hit. And there's that throw into the runner. Derek Barton doesn't want to get hurt. He's trying to catch it and still not get hit. And he has to reach across and tag it. It's not in his glove. Jones with a base hit.
So a 12-game hit streak for Adam. He's on the leadoff single. Moore 0 for 2 will foul that one back. So the Orioles trying to make the run here late in the ball game and get something off this bullpen. The Orioles, when trailing after 6 innings, have had a tough time coming back in ball games, as they've only got, trailing wise, a couple of wins, 25 losses. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be taken for a strike. Starters have been overall a little bit better for the A's than has the bullpen, but obviously to have that 16-0 record after you get through 6 with a lead, you got to have some pretty good bullpen work. Their bullpen, though, is 8th in ERA and 9th in hits allowed per 9 innings. Inside to him, and misses with that. The Orioles needing base runners. That hit by Jones here in the 7th, the first one since the 3rd inning single, picked up by Corey Patterson. Jones making sure he does not get picked off. 1-2 delivery. What an off-speed pitch that was.
Well, again, 6'6", so arms and legs, curveball, big swerve at 71 miles per hour. Throws it at you and ends up down and away. And look where Suzuki's sitting. Right there, a perfect pitch with 2 strikes. Wow, maybe perfect in any count.
Here is Atkins. Garrett Atkins with 1 down and a runner at first. His first home run of the year, 3rd inning. He is 1 for 2 in the ball game. And the fastball will be up high. Adam Jones last night picked off on this play. He obviously didn't think so. Dallas Braden He's got a great move.
Yeah, well,
picked him off.
They haven't stolen the bases in 2 years off him. You see why.
Hit hard, center field, Davis. That ball was hit so hard it stayed up as a line drive all the way. 2 down. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Rosales, a big night. He's had 4 RBIs, a homer, a couple of hits. For Atkins, his first home run. And for Rajai Davis, he has 3 hits, 3 stolen bases, and 2 runs scored. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 51862.
Garrett Atkins point out of the center field. I mean, he hit a rocket.
You can't hit a ball much harder than that. Cesar Izturis. Izturis 0 for 2. He has struck out and flied out in the ballgame. 2 down, runner on at first base. Blevins, the left-hander, out of the pen. 1-0 delivery. Check swing. Did he go? No. 2-0. For Izturis this season, right-handed, he's batting .265, left-handed .217. Here's the 2-0 delivery. That one to center. Davis again coming and again makes the catch. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. 7 complete at Camden Yards. 6-1 Oakland. That's not doing a lot offensively kind of sets the tone, and the A's know it.
Well, it kind of started with a little soft single. Davis had a great at bat, but the definitive blow in that first inning, the 3-run home run, Rosales hit. And for Brian Mattis, that's what 2 games in a row where he's been hurt by not only the home run, but 2 3-run home runs and I guess a 2-run home run by Guerrero. So again, we saw he retired 10 in a row after he settled down. He made really good pitches. And the equation, the formula is when you pitch well, they usually don't hit it. He saw that tonight. I mean, he got a little bit unlucky in the first inning. And again, settled down. And, you know, he's only 23. He had 8 starts last year. He's playing against the best baseball players in the world. That's what the Major League Baseball is about. And he's going to have to make adjustments. And I don't have any reason to think that he's not going to do it.
He's going to have to battle. It looks like the age-old problem for starting pitchers, and that's the first inning. It's the inning where he gives up most of the runs, and again in this one. And then, as you said, once he got through that, he had a string where he retired 10 in a row. But finding that magic answer, you know, you could make $1 billion plus if you could come up with the answer of what do you say to starting pitchers? What do you get them to do so that the first inning isn't a problem?
Well, yeah, you warm up a little bit earlier. You pretend it's a second inning. I mean, I don't know what the case is, but you just have to get out there and get your innings in your games.
That's going to be a base hit as Sweeney picks it up. So Sweeney's got his second hit of the ball game, couple of singles, and that's a leadoff hit. This is an offensive explosion, Jim, for this Oakland team. They are not used to putting up double-digit numbers. They've now got 6 runs on 10 hits.
Well, I talked to Jim Scanlon, their hitting instructor, and I said, it's about a 40-some point difference. He said, I have no idea. If we did, obviously, we would have changed it. But they've had some great at-bats, and even against Jeremy Guthrie, he didn't have great command, but really good velocity, was still throwing 96. They worked the count. So I'm surprised. Again, they're not going to hit a lot of home runs. I mean, they had the 3-run home run tonight. They only hit 26 now on the year. And, it's been like, 12 and then 14 on the road. So they're not going to hit home runs, but they work the count pretty well.
They sure do.
And not for walks as much as just looks like they have an idea of what they want to do. And they're not going to get themselves out till the pitcher makes great pitches.
Then they have a 10-hit ball game going here, and they'll try and add to it in the 8th inning. That's going to be fouled off third base side. Rosales trying to add to his night as he has a 4 RBI ball game with a home run, his 4th of the year, and a single, 2 for 3 in the game, and making just his 2nd start of the year in left field. Rosales got the long ball in the 1st inning off Brian Mattis. 2-strike count on him. Matt Albers on the mound for the Orioles. And a protect your top hand swing right there. He's at a 2 strikes.
Yeah, that boring 2-seam fastball running in on him.
This is for Rosales the 2nd 3-hit ball game that he has had on the year. And he's already had 1 4 RBI game. This is his 2nd. The delivery to him, and that will be fouled off as he tried to push it between 1st and 2nd, where he had the hole to go to and couldn't get it there. It'll stay at 2 strikes.
Yeah, and I bet if when we talk to him tomorrow, he'll tell us he wasn't trying to hit a home run. Brian Mattis tried to come in, didn't get it all the way in. He just reacted to it, and then, this is a great hitting ballpark. He hit 375 feet to the power alley. It's gone.
Again, reaching and fouls that off. Holds the count at 2 strikes. And here's one of those at-bats we've been talking about. This is what the A's have been able to do tonight. They've fought off the good pitches, and you hope you do that long enough to finally get one that you want to hit.
Well, how about Guthrie last night? I mean, he only gives up 1 run. He does give up, 3 walks, 6 hits, but 113 pitches in 6 innings. It wasn't like he had bad stuff, and I said maybe had some command issues, but they made him work.
2-strike count, runner at first, still nobody out. And that's going to be outside. Wieters blocks that, hangs on to it.
I think probably a good way to define is they make you execute, because we look at Alberto Castillo back in the big leagues because of injuries. They make you execute your pitches, and if you don't, they will spray the ball all over the ballpark.
And they have made it work tonight. They're trying to set up the rubber match for the ball game tomorrow night. 1 ball, 2-strike count. Rosales waiting on it, and that's going to be inside. The announcement's not official, but it'll be Brad Bergeson tomorrow, Gio Gonzalez. Then on Friday, Kevin Millwood and Sean Markham open up in Toronto. And then Chris Tillman will make his debut for this season, being called up from AAA to pitch against Brett Cecil on Saturday, with David Hernandez now in the bullpen, and Guthrie and Ricky Romero on Sunday. Wow. Fouls off another one, and the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow night for the finale. Bergeson against Gonzalez. Masson 2 HD, coverage 6:30 O's Extra. Presented by your local Ford dealer, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on Masson.
Yeah, Gonzalez really, a lot of people saying probably the best pitcher that they have right now. Of course, Dallas Braden would say I'm pretty good too, but he's got electric stuff.
That's going to be a base hit into right field. That's right where he wanted to go. It'll move Sweeney over to third base. And the corners are covered here in the 8th inning with nobody out. Rosales, another hit.
Yeah, about nine pitches, and he tried to get him out, talking about Matt Albers with breaking balls, but never could get the breaking ball over. Eventually he gets a ball up in the strike zone, and then he just crisply singles into right field. I think that was a perfect example of a guy just trying to make contact, and that's after he hit a 3-run home run. I mean, a lot of times you go, hey, I could do that again. Not with that approach. Great at hitting approach.
A 9-pitch at bat that Rosales caps off with a base hit. Matt Albers Had a visit from Wieters, who was sent out to let the bullpen work a little bit here. And now the defensive alignment set. Sweeney goes to third. Rosales on at first base. An 11-hit ball game for the A's. Fox will swing and miss. Jake Fox, the designated hitter in this game, robbed of a base hit by his Torres in the first. He has since struck out and flied out. 6 runs, 11 hits now, and they are threatening to put up some more here in the 8th inning. They have scored as many as 11 runs this season. They did that against Cleveland, and they've had as many as 16 hits. They did that against Seattle. Fouled off again at the plate, and Albers gets ahead on the count. 2 strikes. Ozzie Guillen got heaved again today. Ozzie's just in the news every day for something. White Sox won their ball game, but Mark Burley got called on a balk by Joe West. And he threw Ozzie, who came out to argue. And then he called another balk on Burley and threw Burley out of the ball game.
Well, he threw his glove down. That's usually equipment time.
And a swing and a miss by Fox. Albers with a K.
Yeah, he's looking away, and Matt threw it inside, running in on his fist. Fox, who came over from the Cubs. Speaking of Ozzie Guillen, of course, he's a White Sox, but same city.
Ooh, you don't want to say that in Chicago.
Same city, but not same teams. Not same allegiance.
No. Here's Mark Ellis. Is 0 for 3, hit into a double play in the 6th. Still looking for his first hit since coming back. 0 for 12.
I kind of look forward to Ozzie Guillen when they go over to Wrigley, because he can start describing what it's like to play in that ballpark. They have rats the size of cats, and he goes through the whole litany of insulting them.
He is something.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
He's still managing, though.
Oh, well.
That is a breaking ball. Wieters will block that, and a 1-0 count. 2 catchers tonight have had catcher's nights. Suzuki's fouled the ball off his leg. He's had a couple that have come back, hit him in the mask. Wieters made a tag at the plate that jolted his shoulder. He's had a couple that have bounced on him, come up and caught the areas that are not covered. Here's the 1-0 delivery outside, and a 2-0 count. Trying to get that ground ball from Albers.
And Mark Ellis is saying, if I'm going to hit it to center field, I better hit it farther, because the last time he tried to get a sacrifice fly, Adam Jones made the great throw to nail the runner at home plate. Ron Albers unable to find the strike zone.
And the Orioles have had some defensive plays that have kept this ball game within reach. Jones making that play at the plate on the throw to end the 6th inning. Nick Markakis with a tremendous catch on Kuzmanov to end the 7th. Had he not caught that, at least 1 and probably 2 runs would have scored. And he walked him. So Albers surrenders the walk, and now the bases are loaded. There's the Tejada making the outstanding play on the slow roller. Jones on the play at the plate that Wieters had his shoulder hit on a bit. And catch this one. Nice look. That's
real
the
nice
fine
look.
Play made on Kuzmanov by Markakis.
That would go on my picture wall if I was pitching. Sliding, diving catch. Rick Kranitz out to say, what are we going to do here? Because if you're Dave Tremblay, you got Castillo warming up in the bullpen. Pennington coming to the plate, or actually it is Pennington, but he can switch hits. So who do you want to? You want Albers, who does not pitch particularly well against left-handers, or you want Castillo coming in?
Albers will stay on and work against Pennington now. The base is loaded, only 1 away. Pennington has not had an official at bat against Albers.
Yeah, I think they're looking for the ground ball.
And the pitch will be taken down low. Ball 1. Bases loaded. A 6-1 A's lead as they try and add to it. For Pennington this year, 1 for 6 with the bases loaded. A single. 1-0 delivery to him. Pennington will take. So the Orioles, after playing what I thought was maybe the most fundamentally sound game they've played all year last night in coming away with a win, tonight have gone back to the opponents getting all kinds of base runners on and 6 runs, 11 hits, and have not been able to generate any offense.
Well, it's kind of a flip-flop of last night's game where the Orioles they'd trail early, but they'd come back and get some early runs. They got Braden out of the game because of an ankle injury and did all the little things, even the back end of the bullpen, sacrifice fly, something they don't do quite regularly.
2-1 delivery on the way, and that'll even it up on Pennington. Pennington, with the bases loaded here, is trying to get out of an 0 for 14 that he is in right now. This series, he's gone 0 for 8 in the first 2 games.
And 2 constants, of course, is Cahill tonight for the A's as a starting pitcher, and then Guthrie last night for the Orioles. 6 innings with only 1 run allowed for each of them.
And we'll take the pitch down low.
So he didn't even budge at that breaking ball, which tells me they must be able to pick it up out of the hand of Matt Albers.
Number 9 hitter with the sacks full, and Pennington did real damage early on in that series, first series out in Oakland. 3-2 delivery to him, and you'll take that one down the line. That's going to go foul. He had 4 RBIs in the series in Oakland. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. A's have not looked back after the 4-run first, adding another in the second. The Orioles got a run in the third to make it 5-1. The A's got that run back in the 6th inning on a Rosales single. 3-2 delivery, bases loaded, popped that one up. Shortstop is Torres, and he's got it. Runner will tag, but not going anywhere. Sweeney back to third base. Big second out on Pennington. First 5 runs were scored by the A's with 2 down. Now they're going to try and do it again. Rajai Davis 2 away. Bases are loaded. He already has a 3-hit ball game, 2 runs scored, and 3 stolen bases to tie him with Juan Pierre for the league lead. Davis, with the bases loaded, is 4 for 6 with 7 RBIs. Down to third. Tejada with the force at second, and just gets it. A high throw that Moore had to go up to handle. No runs, couple of hits, no errors. Bases are left loaded. 6-1 A's. Chevrolet. Find out why 1,000 people are switching to Chevy each day at ChevyDealer.com. With Jim Palmer and Amber Theo Harris and 19,153 others, the announced attendance. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. A lot of youngsters on hand for the ball game here, and hoping the Orioles can make a run. Top of the order, Patterson. Blevins, the left-hander who came on in the last inning. Patterson has had a single, a walk, and he has grounded out. 0-1 delivery, and Patterson will take that one for a strike. Gabe Gross has come on to play in left field. That takes out the big offensive power man, Rosales.
Even though Gross got 3 hits last night, as Patterson Evans takes care of him in a hurry. 3 pitches. Another curveball. This one at 69. First strikeout of Scott Moore was 71. And then 6-6. Long arms. Boy, is that a key to pitching. Get ahead. And then make a quality pitch just off the corner.
He's trying to convince his manager that he's worthy of going out there in tough situations again after allowing 5 runs in his last 4 games. 1-0 count on Ty Wigginton. Wigginton has an 0 for 2 and a walk in the ball game. Blevins, right-handers, hitting .361 against him. The left-handers, .222.
Well, they now have 3. Brad Ziegler are getting ready, but they have 3 lefties. You know, Cedric Bowers called up. And then we saw Craig Breslow, who threw the ball very well last night.
Their bullpen numbers will probably get better here as they fill in the spots with the injuries they've had. Swung on a miss, tailing away pitch, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Wigginton.
Yeah, that's the first changeup he's thrown, and it was a good one. In a fastball count. That'll get your attention if you're Ty Wigginton.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the Orioles. 9-12 here at home. They've won 8 of the last 13 home games. And it's strike 3 call. Wigginton did not think so. 2 down.
Well, change up down and away, and then fastball at the knees on the corner. You judge for yourself. Nope. See, he thought it was inside. It was. Except for the home plate umpire.
And that will bring up Nick Markakis.
Well, it's just amazing how guys can discern between balls and strikes. You know, I used to talk to Wade Boggs. I said, how do you lay off those inside pitches? He said, well, where I put my hands, anything inside my hands is a ball. And that was his guideline. You know, 200 hits a year and whatever. So he knew. I mean, it makes sense.
And that's why for a lot of hitters like Boggs, Nick Markakis, for one, will change his batting stance and style a lot. For him to be able to do something like that is more difficult because he makes so many adjustments. But you get a guy like Boggs where every at-bat's the same.
Yeah, he said, I'm never in a slump. I'm just in a period of adjustment as far as I'm never going to change my stance.
Yep.
You know, every ball was hit pretty much from up the middle to left field.
2-strike count. Markakis. Blevins just misses. He's got 3 strikeouts here since coming on in the last inning. Markakis has an 8-game hit streak, not extended in this ball game with the 0 for 3. Adam Jones has extended his career high hit streak to 12 with a single. And that's that. You start the side out. So Blevins gets it done here in the 8th inning. We go to the 9th with the A's on top, 6-1. And by Pep Boys. Tires, parts, and full service. Pep Boys does everything for less. Matt Albers, an inning and 2/3, couple of hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Now the left-hander will come on. Alberto Castillo.
Yeah, pitched last time the Orioles, which was Thursday night, were in Texas and did not had one of the poorer outings with 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, home run. Did strike somebody out, so you can see right there. I don't walk a whole lot of people, but more hits than innings pitched. And not getting lefties out, which is really why he's in the bullpen. Lefty's 6 for 15 off.
And he will face the left-hander, Barton, who leads it off here. Barton with a walk, a single and an RBI, sacrificing he's grounded out, so he's had a busy day. Barton hitting at .280 on the season, and that is in there for a strike. We are in the 9th inning. If the Orioles do not come back, it will set up the rubber match for tomorrow night's concluding game in this 3-game set, with Brad Ferguson against Gio Gonzalez here at Camden Yards tomorrow night. Alberto Castillo up for the 3rd time with the ball club. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery, sidearms that one. Martin.
Yeah, it's almost like a crossfire. You know, like when you were a kid, you know, you'd step across your body and drop your arm angle and whatever. At least I did. You know, messing around trying to be like Don Drysdale. Of course, I didn't throw at Willie Mays. I didn't go that far, but.
Swung on a miss.
Yeah, so he steps right at Derek Barton and then drops that breaking ball off the outside corner. And in Texas, he got ahead of Josh Hamilton and then threw 4 straight balls tonight. He gets Barton to swing at one of those balls, and he gets a strikeout.
Suzuki only a 190 hitter off the left-handers. 80 points lower than against righties. He comes on with 1 away. Kurt Suzuki a single in the 1st inning for an RBI, and has since popped out, grounded out, flied out. 4 runs in the 1st, 3-run homer Rosales, RBI Suzuki, RBI Rosales in the 6th. RBI Barton in the 2nd. And those are the 6 runs on the board for the A's. The Orioles home run Garrett Atkins. The only run and only 3 hits. Just 2 of them off Trevor Cahill, the starter.
Yeah, 7 last night, but again the sacrifice flies. The home run by Markakis, double by Matt Wieters for some late inning runs.
Off the end and foul. Still of record here, Brian Mattis, whose 4-game losing streak may be extended to 5 here, barring a major comeback, and his record would go to 2-5 on the season.
Well, he certainly hasn't pitched as well as he would like, but the run support after pretty good run support early, 5 and 6 runs in his 1st and 3rd start, that's really changed. Well, they got him 0, 1, 0, 2, and 3, and now 1 to this point. But I know he wants to pitch better, and he'll work on it.
Orioles need him to be right. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Castillo to Kurt Suzuki, and again he'll foul that one off the other way. And it'll stay at a ball and 2 strikes.
And you always wonder why some right-handers some years will struggle against left-handed pitching. Ball comes to you, the breaking ball, you know, usually coming towards the right-hander unless you turn it over. In fact, I was having a conversation down in Texas with Will Oman, and the Orioles left-hander, and I said it's all about the Coriolis effect, you know, which is the way the Earth spins in the northern hemisphere.
Back to that toilet thing again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Well, the sink too. You could go to the toilet or the sink, whatever. You choose the toilet.
2-2.
And
so if we could just get a team in South America, some of these players would be really good.
Well, he said, you know, I probably wouldn't be as good in Panama. He's got an answer for everything. I don't think we're going to find that out, but
no,
he's doing a nice job here. I said stick to the North America.
That's going to miss down low and a full count. 3 ball, 2 strike count on Kurt Suzuki.
And the only reason I know about that is the Orioles had a 3rd baseman, Rex Peters. He would eventually run for, I think, Frank Peters, played on the with Mel Counts on that Oregon State NCAA basketball. And he hated left-handers because they had all the advantages. They were close. You know, if you're a left-handed hitter, you had You had the first baseman holding the runner on. You were closer to first base than the right-handed hitter, and he was a right-handed hitter. So he came up with which is a valid reason, the Coriolis effect. And then he ran for governor of Oregon.
Most people who think that way seem to get into politics. The 3-2 delivery to Suzuki and a towering pop-up to center.
Come on, Adam.
He's there. Jones has got it. Suzuki's retired, and there are 2 down here in the 9th inning. Two down, nobody on here in the top of the 9th, and Kuzmanov coming up, a double and a run scored, and he was denied another base hit and at least 1 RBI in the 7th inning on that catch we showed you by Nick Markakis in right field. Kuzmanov at 260 now on the year. He has had 1 hit in this series, 1 for 7 and a walk, and will take the pitch for a strike. Kuzmanov last year hit 291 off the left-handers when all was said and done. He's 30 points below that right now against lefties. Inside corner strike. Castillo quickly gets ahead 0-2.
And for Alberto, it's not about stuff. It's usually about location. Again, he does drop down. He does kind of like a side winder. He does give you that drop down against the lefties. And, he can throw 92, 93. It's just sometimes he leaves balls in the middle of the plate. And he documented, great story. About 6-7 independent leads, pitched down in Mexico, trying to hang around.
Here's Torres. And Castillo retires the side in order. We'll go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. The Orioles 3 outs to work with, trailing in this one 6-1. You want me to answer that? Yes. And for the Orioles, they certainly hope so. But to do it, they're going to have to do it against a submarine side armor here by the name of Brad Ziegler, who comes out of the bullpen to try and finish it off in a non-save situation.
Yeah, you don't see this look very often. Scoreless in his last 4 appearances on the homestand, and one of these guys, very typical of what's going on. He has given up 1 run in 14 outings at home, and then 5 earned runs in 6 2/3 on the road, and that's the 2.79 ERA coming into the game, and then close to 6 runs a game for this pitching staff on the road.
Well, let's see what happens here. We invite you to join Orioles Reach on the Maryland Food Bank 24th Annual Food Drive, June 4, 5, and 6. You can bring donations, non-perishable food items to the ballpark on the weekend, or go to marylandfoodbank.org/Orioles for more information. That's June 4, 5, and 6 for the Food Bank Drive. Great effort. We hope you'll join in. Miguel Tejada leading it off. Tejada's had an 0 for 3 in this one, 0 for 5 in the series. Brad Ziegler worked 3 days ago against the Giants, 2/3 of an inning, no runs and a hit in his last outing. Right-handers 167 off him. Lefties 304. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Tejada tapper towards second base. Ellis. 1 down. Let's update you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. Right now, it's Atkins. It's a fairly substantial lead. You still have time to text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 51862. The results on the O's Extra post-game show. Wieters has a walk, 0 for 2. 1 for 6 now in the 2-game set. So Trevor Cahill looking to go 3-2. Waiting to see if the final outs can be recorded and protect the lead. Boy, it's a tough pitch to try and pick up, even if you're a left-hander.
Well, it is. I mean, his first year was 2008, and he started out with 39 consecutive scoreless innings. It's a good way to start your major league career. Very deceptive.
1-1 to Wieters.
What, 2 home runs? He was a little bit like Chad Bradford. 2 home runs in 73 innings last year.
Keeps that ball down low, and you can see why guys would chop at that thing and pound it into the earth. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and Wieters will foul that one off. Ziegler has walked 9 in the 20 innings while striking out 12. So the ratio not very good in that department, but he doesn't give up much else.
Well, Rick Peterson, who is now with Milwaukee, but he was a pitching coach, did a great job for him. And, when they had the the Mulders and the Zitos and Tim Hudson. But he said Chad Bradford, he was 6'6", and all he would do is change his spine angle and get the arm right there. And it's just a matter. It's like overhand, bend over at the waist, and your arm angle comes down. Probably a little bit more to it than that. You got to figure out what your release point is. But you just don't see too many guys that are submariners or sidearmers, whatever you want to call them.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and again foul back. Most arms and shoulders can't survive too much of that.
No.
Because you really do put a lot of
torque on the. Did you ever see Eddie Feiner and the under?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I saw him when I was 10, when I was 20, when I was 30, and when I was 40, and he was still throwing under it.
Did he have two guys in the outfield?
Three. Well, he had three guys, but it was a four-man team.
Yes.
He would pitch blindfolded and throw strikes.
Would pitch from second base.
Newhall, California.
And would throw strikes.
Yes.
Eddie Feiner and the traveling all-star softball team. 3-2 delivery, and Wieters is on with the one. Well, the Orioles here in the bottom of the ninth get a base runner. Wieters has had a couple of free passes in the ball game, and that'll bring up Adam Jones, whose single his last time up extended his hit streak to 12 games.
Well, they need two more outs. Got to get 27 to win a game. And Bob Guerin saying, okay, this is where we want to play him, moving Davis in center field pretty much maybe a step to right center.
One down. Jones will take the pitch for a strike. Now backing up is Barton at first base, as Ziegler not even looking over on that last play, and Barton hollering at him that I'm going to play behind him. Here's the 0-1 delivery, and misses inside to Adam, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Well, the Orioles trying for a big rally here in the ninth. The Atkins home run still the only one up there. Towards the middle, knocked down Ellis. He goes there for one. Nice play. Pennington there to get it. Ellis gets the force out on Wieters, 2 down.
And Ziegler gets the ground ball. And that's what that sinker does. And you can see Ellis up the middle, about 3.5 steps, knocks it down, picks it up, gets the lead runner. And there's your 26th out. H.H. Gregg, Expo.
Oakland trying to win just their 6th game of the season on the road, which would end a 6-game road losing streak. Runner will go. Jones, defensive indifference. Moore has gone 0 for 3 in the ball game. Grounded out, flied out, struck out. Getting his start at second base tonight. And that towards the middle, pitcher trying to cover, and a nice play to get there. Ziegler gets it, and this one's in the books. as the A's have come away with a 6-1 win, setting up the rubber match in the game tomorrow. 6-11-0 for the A's, 1-3-1 for the O's.